it feels like every other year we have some kind of hilarious coaching cycle with the Los Angeles Lakers. For as long as I've been a fan, I feel like they haven't had a good long-term coach. And now we have millennial Pat Riley coming into the door. The world's greatest podcaster is coming to be the next great coach. I'm ready for the next era of JJ Redick basketball.
Listen, this is what the Lakers are about. And very underrated, right? Obviously, we're all going to get our jokes off. Pat Riley did the exact same thing, right? Pat Riley was working on the radio and they were like, hey, do you want to come do this? And I was like, yeah. Yep. At least JJ has, done the same thing, played in the league, done the podcast and stuff, been in media. This just might be the next Pat Riley. Who knows?
They both got the slick back hair, the look. They're with it.
Exactly. This is giving all of the podcasters right now hope. Producer Nikhil, Isaac, Donovan, Zach Lowe, Kenny Beecham, Derek, D Mills. You all have an opportunity to become head coaches. Just like me, too. Now's our time. Shout out to JJ Redick for paving the way.
Listen, us three combined, we can coach the Pistons. We can do it.
Yeah, I think if you combined us in a lab and made us into one person, like a brain mold of 3 brain powers, then maybe we can do it.
Exactly.
Oh, we'd be great.
Yeah, we got Isaac
science
in
fiction analytical brain. Donovan knows how to connect with any person, and I know how to tap into people's silly side.
Donovan's just like King Networker.
Yeah, exactly.
You just assigned him that.
Quite literally.
I guess.
We got a lot to talk about today's episode.
Practice like this. Do you guys want to run a screen?
You should push the pace, guys. Clicking your knees together. All right, man. Like I said, a lot to talk about today. JJ Redick is the coach of the Lakers. Alex Caruso is on the Thunder. The Sixers don't want Paul George. And as you see by the title, we're doing a tier list of the last 25 NBA championship teams. So it's going to be a long episode. Hit the intro music.
The cranium is crazy. Oh my God.
I mean, I really don't know what to say.
Crayon eaters, rejoice.
All right, before we get to the main part of the pod, I need to quickly tell you guys, for the next 2 weeks, the streams aren't going to be on Monday. And I know you guys hear that. You're like, what? They're pushing it to Tuesday. They always do this late, yada, yada, yada. It's not that. The reason is we're delaying this next coming Monday stream to Wednesday because we're going to stream during the NBA draft. And then the following week, instead of Monday, we're going to bring it up until Sunday because we're going to stream for the first day of free agency.
Oh!
And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say this right now, but I'm going to leak it for y'all. These are going to be in-person streams too. Me, Isaac, and Donovan are going to be yapping for the first time in person.
Yep. First live streams in person. It's going to be in New York at the Bleacher Report offices. It should be a fun time. And also another reminder before we get onto the pod, the new Crayon Eater merch is still out. We announced it for you guys last week. You guys have loved it. It's been a great response. We appreciate all y'all that have bought it so far. You see Donovan got the hoodie on right now. I'll put the graphics on screen again to show you guys the same stuff we showed you last week. It's been good. It's been a good rollout for it.
We aspire to have.
All right, let's start with Lakers talk. Let's
go.
For about a month now, we've known that this team has had their eye on JJ Redick. There was a brief intermission where for a week, Adrian Wojnarowski gaslit us into thinking that it was going to be Dan Hurley for ways that seems a little motivated by personal interest, but neither here nor there. But it all came back around, and from the jump, Shams Charania was right. JJ Redick is the coach of the Lakers. Mo, how do you feel about this?
I don't give a damn. I just can't wait about the memes, bro. I literally have nothing to lose. It doesn't change my life, bro. I still wake up and I have to do the same things that I do every single day. Don't care at all.
All right, well,
but how do you feel about it?
Donovan, do you have an opinion since Mo came up here with no opinion?
Listen, I'm happy. Content won today, right? Like Mo said on the intro, all the podcasters are up today. And not only because a light has been shined on our field, but also because for the next 4 years, right, we have content, or however long JJ lasts as the coach of the Lakers. But every night it's gonna be something. We all know, right, the narrative with Darvin Ham. He's gonna keep his hands in his pockets. He's not really gonna do anything. By the time Thanksgiving rolls around, we're going to play like 16, 17 games. There's already going to be the narrative of, oh, JJ doesn't know what he's doing. He should have stuck to podcasting. If the Lakers are anything below like 75% win percentage, so it's going to be a very bumpy ride. I'm very curious to see how Lakers fans handle it. I'm curious to see how he handles it and what the Lakers come out as, because listen, we know that when you have LeBron and AD, you want to win the championship. I don't think that the Lakers are championship or bust right now. I still think that this roster is kind of a little bit away from championship, like legitimately short list. So that, like the realistic expectations versus, oh yeah, we're hiring JJ Reddick. What do we want him to push and where do we think we're going to be? That disconnect or that gap is what I'm going to be looking at for the first like month and a half.
Yeah, you can't be championship or bust if you're in their position unless you're just delusional, which, you know, no one ever accused the Lakers front office of being rational actors. But, you know, they're not the Celtics in that regard. You said content wins. I think content actually loses dramatically just because we're losing JJ Reddick in the NBA media space. Current NBA media landscape that desperately needs all the substance it can get, and they're losing the biggest face of it. So listen, Stephen A. Smith, you've been having a moment. Get ready to keep screaming. The eyes are back on you.
Oh, he was going to do that whether JJ got hired or not, right? He doesn't need permission from us to scream.
Kendrick Perkins, more eyes on you.
Exactly.
Everybody eats now because 1 million views a day are gone from JJ Reddick and dispersed everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. Richard Jefferson, this is your time to step up into the light, right?
What are you prepared to do about it?
Exactly. Tim Legler, you've been getting your flowers on Twitter for the past couple of days. You are the face of the franchise now. You are the face of the nerd. Show up.
People analysis, you better get in your bag.
Now's the time.
As a Lakers fan, I'm a very realistic Lakers fan. I think I'm not super like drink the Kool-Aid, like, oh, this is our year, like a Cowboys fan. And I'm very jaded by them just being inept since the Russell Westbrook trade. So I don't have terribly high expectations. So a lot of Lakers fans that still think every year is going to be the year they can win again, maximize this, maximize that. They really, really harp on every decision. Understandably, they're fans. So they have some concerns, right? That in the short term, you're hiring a guy that has no coaching experience. You would want better for a team that has a 38-year-old LeBron James and needs to win now, you know, just based on how old he's getting.
39.
39? Me, on the other hand, I don't give a fuck. I don't think they're going to win either way. So I just want a coach that has a potential to be really good for years on the line, because I don't think you're maximizing this roster and winning a championship either way. I'm not going into the season thinking that. So you could do something conservative and boring and scared, like hiring a James Borrego, whoever else you want thrown in the bus as being a mediocre average coach that will be fine, but no chance of being great. Or you can take a swing on somebody who's never done it before, but has the chance of being a diamond in the rough and being the next Pat Riley, being the next Steve Kerr, being the next whoever you want to assign precedent to as being a great player turned coach. You can hope that that's JJ Reddick, because he's shown that he's really smart, has the analytical ability, has a relationship with players, the personality you think will translate well. You can assume all of that will go in your favor and take that chance. And to me, that's way better than doing something super scared and hiring a retread coach.
Again, makes for better content. Like, I think we said this either on a stream or a couple podcasts ago. But again, we all know JJ Reddick is chronically online. He is a loser like the rest of us who be on Twitter for 2 hours a day. All right. 2 hours too long. He's going to go on fantastic rants, whether it be like post game. He's going to have some generational memes pop up here and there, at least like every 20 games or so for the Los Angeles Lakers. And he's going to get so many texts as well. I already know it, and I can smell it from a mile away.
He is so no nonsense when he goes on First Take and shit, where he's like, why are we talking about this? This is fucking dumb. What are we doing? This is not good for the game. Imagine he goes on a podium. They have a tough loss to the Clippers on November 25th. They lose in the last second because D'Angelo Russell is on bullshit. They get to the presser and they ask him something that is just so dumb and so minimizing of what an actual basketball game is like. He's going to see red. And he's going to be like, why do you have this job? What are you doing asking me this?
Quite literally. I got a question for you guys, though. Okay, so in a couple of days from now, I believe they'll be able to like trade away 3 first-round picks. Is there like quite literally no pathway for them to improve this roster now that JJ Redick will be involved in these decisions? Do you think they'll legitimately have a shot?
There's plenty of pathways. I think they can definitely get in that mix. They're not screwed or anything. I'm just not going into it assuming they will. But like you said, 3 first-round picks, the 17th overall pick, they can draft a ready-made player that can help now. Like, there's definitely a world where they're contenders again.
Yeah, and it's like, it's the Lakers, so people always think boom or bust. You always are thinking about them in the trade context as like, okay, what star are we going to trade for? If you just act like a normal organization and trade for pieces around the fringes, right, that could also be very beneficial, right? If you decide, hey, we're actually not going to go after D-Mitch. We're actually not going to go after Trae Young, but you go and you get yourself another role player, kind of like what they did 2 years ago when they rebuilt the whole roster. It wasn't because they traded for some star at the deadline. They rebuilt it with role players, with guys that actually fit around LeBron and AD. And then you made a Western Conference Finals run. Like, that's also another path that you can take. And so, and looking, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, but looking at the price that some guys go for, you may be able to get a steal in the offseason.
And listen, a 5th seed just made the finals. Year before that, an 8th seed made the finals. Year before that, I don't remember. What were the Warriors were like a 5th seed or something? They weren't high. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it wasn't top 3, I don't think. I say it to say we're in the age of parity.
No, they were.
They were top 3 seed?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
either way.
Same point stands.
Yeah, either way. We're seeing a lot of non-top 2 seeds, whatever the number is, make the finals because we're in an age of parity where, at least outside the Celtics, there's no true like unbeatable forces right now, especially in the West. There's just a lot of great teams. If the Lakers, are a productive 4th or 5th seed, have a good season, reload, they have as good of a chance as all these other teams do. So they're not screwed by any means. They're just not a lock for having those type of expectations.
Yeah, everything is about matchups as we've
exactly.
seen, right? Like, because I think all of us are like, hey, if Denver would have played Dallas, that would have been completely different. But we never got there because Minnesota was a perfect matchup for Denver. And so you just got to hope that the cards fall wherever they may, and that if you're a Lakers fan, things end up in a favorable spot for you. And again, it's funny because JJ and LeBron have been doing this podcast for a couple months now, but we can't act like this hasn't happened in NBA history. We can't act like guys, like former players who have relationships with current players are given jobs. Like Steve Nash's the whole reason why he got the job in Brooklyn was because he used to be some very, very low tier coach with the Warriors. He would come in and him and KD were cool. Next thing you know, boom, coach. Jason Kidd retired 2 weeks later, boom, coach. Derek Fisher retired a couple years later. Phil Jackson is like, yeah, I'm going to look out for my guy. Boom, coach. So like this pathway, we talk about like the podcast or the head coaching pipeline. That's fine. If you are actually looking at it for real, it's former player to head coaching pipeline. And we've seen that a million times.
It's
so
crazy.
it really isn't that. It exactly isn't that crazy.
Now, their argument will be most of these people you named have at least some form of assistant coaching experience, and he has none. And fair argument, right? That's going to be a learning curve. This isn't going to be a seamless experiment, right? I said it's a risk at the end of the day, the hope that you get the high-end outcome and he is great, but it is a risk. And if it wasn't, you wouldn't be able to get him so easily. A guy, because he has the potential. We know if things work out, that potential is only available so easily because the downside is also there. So you guys are right. It's just, are you willing to take that risk is, I guess, the difference in mindset.
Donovan touched on it real quick. But real question, what do you guys think happens to the Mind of the Game podcast?
Oh, it's done.
I mean, it's over.
You can't do a podcast while you're a coach. Like, his media career is going on pause. The 342 media company is going to keep doing its thing, producing other shows, but JJ Redick's not going to be on a podcast while he's a coach.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all.
And good for him. If that's what he wants to be back in the NBA coaching, that's his end goal clearly, so good for him. The media thing will always be there. If it doesn't work out, he can hand the keys to whoever else is running it. I think it's Jason Gallagher, formerly of The Ringer, who's the media head of that company. They'll keep doing their thing. Maybe he'll make appearances. They'll produce other shows. But we know he wants to be back in the NBA, so good for him.
Good job,
what
JJ.
a pipe! What a journey for JJ Redick, man. How beautiful was that? Man, was
you know what else is a less than beautiful journey?
Ringer.
You know who has a terrible journey? The Chicago Bulls front office. And that journey just got laid with more shit as they traded Alex Caruso, a player who last year they declined a trade in which they would have got 2 first-round picks for. Rumored that one of those first round picks to potentially be top 10. That was declined. They kept their core together for 3 years in a row. Everybody told them they should blow it up. They finally did it. They finally traded Alex Caruso, and they did it by trading for 1 Joshua Giddey and 0 first-round picks. A straight-up player-for-player trade, which never happens anymore. And they did it for potentially the worst starter in the Western Conference right now. How do y'all feel?
Oh, no. You telling me they couldn't even get a heavily protected pick? A fake first-rounder?
Not a 1.
Damn!
0.
Oh,
not a second-rounder. Not a pick swap.
Pain.
No cash considerations. Nothing.
You couldn't even
No
get a
draft rights to
printer,
foreign prospect
a
no one's
fax
ever heard
machine,
of.
toilet
Not a
paper
fax
alongside
machine.
Josh Giddey? Damn!
Just Josh Giddey and his hair products, man.
This is awful. This showed me 2 things. And like the first thing was, if you are a GM, trade that asset today, because we talk about like, oh yeah, like we're gonna wait for the asset. The two guys at the top of my head where I can think of GMs like overrating them or the entire league wants them. I can think of Alex Caruso and I think of OG Anunoby. And we heard Masai Ujiri talk for years. It's going to take 1 million first round picks to go get, to get OG off of us. And it took like Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett. And he was like, oh, wow, like that actually wasn't that bad. And then Alex Caruso, every team in the league wants him. And then like you said, it just takes Josh Giddey. If you have a guy that everybody else is like, hey, we kind of need him. You can fleece these teams. And the fact that they did not fleece the team with the most first round picks at their disposal is ridiculous. I said it on the stream the other day.
That's what it is.
Exactly. I said it on the stream the other day. Sam Presti is now in that tier where if he calls your phone, you hang up because he is trying to fleece you. You're going to get scammed. And no matter what the deal is, public opinion is going to be that you are scammed unless you're the Bulls and you agree to get fleeced in a trade. This is not good at all. And I genuinely feel bad for Bulls fans.
I think you said you learned trade your asset, use your power, so-and-so. I learned that if you're a team that has aspirations of making positive moves, dial up the Chicago Bulls because they are a walking lick ripe for the punching. They are easy come up. You're going to win that trade. If you're a team that you need a shooting guard, just go ask them about Zach LaVine. Maybe they'll just like give you 4 first rounders to take them. If you want veteran leadership, see what's up with DeMar DeRozan. You need a stretch forward that's potentially going to be a big defender. You're PJ Washington. Patrick Williams is there and he's free. They will just give people away. And if they're not giving away, they're doing the dumbest thing they possibly can. They'll turn down any bad offer you give them. There's no bad outcome when it comes to trading with the Bulls.
They got it right.
Gonna lie.
The fans
Adam
have to riot.
Silver has to do something about this. the Chicago Bulls need to be monitored. Who's their GM? I think his name is like Mark something. His name is Mark Eversley.
What's the president basketball person's name? He has a long European name. I can't remember. Something with a K.
Yeah, he's new.
Artuvis? I don't want to butcher it.
Yeah, I think he's new.
Thank you.
I think he just joined within the last like 2 years or so. But that dude
Arturis.
right there, you are on watch.
A lot of
you
consonants.
Are on watch. Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I know the first one pronounced Arturis. I don't know how to say the last name. I don't want to butcher it. But listen, man, you suck. Tough sledding as a Bulls fan.
There's nothing interesting for us to say because the Bulls just keep doing what the Bulls do, which is we're gonna be mid and we're gonna be stupid. And at least if you're gonna be mid, can you be interesting? Or if you're gonna be mid, can you do it in a way that like shows that you have direction? And they refuse to do that. They look like they are
okay,
just prepared to be mid for the rest
And Nikhil,
of the.
can you pull up Rusty Bucket's
awful.
Twitter? We have some Bulls fans. I think it'd be kind of funny to look through their tweets.
while
Kenny
we're
posted a
pulling that
video.
up-
I forgot he's a Bulls fan.
Yeah, Kenny
While
is
he's-
too.
Yeah, sadly for them. While he's pulling that up, what are the Bulls rotation? What's the Bulls guard rotation looking like? There's Kobe White, Ayu
Who's he-
Dosunmu,
Why
Lonzo
even talk about it?
Ball.
Who
They have
cares?
so much.
And
They have
Giddey.
so much to change. Still, they're gonna do so much dumb shit from between now and the free agency that we shouldn't even talk about it yet.
What
They're
are
going
these
to continue
tweets,
to do
man?
the dumbest shit ever, bro.
Yeah, pull up the funny
So
one.
Josh
Kenny posted a
Giddey-
video. Kenny said in his video, he was like, listen, I know I'm the YouTube guy that's like the face of rebuilding teams from a fan perspective. He's like, I think I could do a better job than the Bulls have in the past 3 years as a GM. And everyone's like,
Rusty
facts,
okay?
man. I think you got it. Can't argue with that.
I hope Rusty's okay, man.
Rusty
shit.
said, I'm blaming this front office in the note I leave behind.
Oh my God. Note I
crazy.
leave behind. Should I call him right now to see if he's alive?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that would be kind of funny to call him if you're on the pod.
I'm going to call him right now.
Text him and tell him he's going to be on the pod first if he wants to.
Nah, he has no choice. That's my dog.
Yeah, just call
Put it
me.
up to the mic. Put it up to the mic so people can hear it.
Let's see if he hears it. If he answers. If he answers, it'll be the funniest thing ever.
A live Rusty.
He got a girl now, though, so he's probably not. Oh, are you alive? We just showed the pod. We're recording right now also. So watch your mouth. But we just showed the pod your Bulls tweet. And I wanted to know if you're okay, if you're alive.
Dude, people are calling me like my grandma died or something. Like everyone's like, "Are you okay? Do you need me to like send flowers or something?" I'm not okay. I'm a Bulls fan.
Man. All right. I'm going to send you flowers and some chocolates and maybe some ice cream like that after the pod. All right. Via Instacart on me.
Sounds good.
All right. Good night, pal.
He said, "Pal." That's great.
That's fucking
great.
hilarious. Yeah, man, Bulls fans are down
man.
bad. There's not much to add that hasn't been said already. They're bad. They've been bad. Sam Presti is good. He's been good. Let's talk about it for the OKC Thunder. It's the only thing that matters. They replaced potentially the worst starter in the Western Conference, aside of like obviously the Trailblazers and Spurs that have started some shitters over the year. But you know, one of the worst starters for a team that has aspirations of doing something, you know, positive. An actively damaging starter they replaced with first team all defense level guard play. So now they have Shea, J-Dub, Dort, Caruso, and Case and Wallace as perimeter defenders with Chet Holmgren in the back. Listen, we've been talking a lot about Donovan, you said on the last stream, you said that you think they're going to win the next finals. You called that out already. You said this is your 2025 champion. Even outside of your declaration of that, we've been saying that this is the team clearly in line to do what the Celtics did and have a great team
100%.
that make the moves necessary to get their version of Derek White, Drew Holiday, Porzingis, whoever may be, and go to the next level. We were just saying they're going to make that move and be doing that same formula with the two-star perimeter players in Shea and J-Dub, and then Chet being their Porzingis, and they're going to get their next guys to fill out the roster. This is that next guy. OKC, you are now in your championship window. This is what they needed to do.
This is amazing. As somebody who made that declaration a couple days ago, like 2 hours after the Celtics won, I could not be happier. And I'm letting y'all know right now, going into next year, the Thunder will be my team. Out west, at least, right?
Wow.
I can't wait. Like, I think that I've been thinking about the Western Conference and the standings like all day, even before the trade. And I still can't believe that the Thunder weren't in the Western Conference Finals. I was so sure that they were going to beat Dallas. I'm so bought in to everything that I'm so bought into everything that they are doing. And the fact that, again, that you can add a first team all defense on your team right now for nothing, for no picks, and you still have all the flexibility in the world to go address your other
negative assets. Negative assets.
For another main concern in your backup center, now they can be as complete a team in terms of like a young team climbing the mountain. They can be as complete as we've ever seen because of everything that they have at their disposal. It's crazy. It's insane. So
yeah.
Did I sprinkle? I sprinkled. I'm not gonna lie. I did a little something.
Sprinkled?
I did a little something.
Yeah, I saw someone say Alex Caruso and Chet Holmgren are going to be the best perimeter defense, best pick and roll defense duo since. Wait a minute, they might be the best ever. Like that's like was part joke, but Alex Caruso is the best screen navigator in the NBA right now. Chet Holmgren is not far from being a top 2 to 3 rim protector. Even as a rookie, it was like Rudy, AD, Wemby, and Chet. That's the list. This is as good of an on-ball defensive duo you can possibly imagine. Then with all the slew of other guys we talked about, once they get that power forward to allow Jada to go back to the 3, I don't know how you're gonna be able to score against them.
There is no other two white men that I could like fear the most when I call a screen and then I just see like Chet Holmgren big ass on me. Like, what are you supposed to do then, bro? Coach, call a timeout. It's raps.
Dude, they're gonna be ridiculous.
mad
And I know
bright.
Bad breakdown. I was very loud and vocal about my love for the Thunder this year, specifically because of my love for Chet and J-Dub, who I have all the stock in the world in. They went out sad, and everybody let me hear about it. I get it. I was never wrong. I was just early. I was too early. This year is where it's going to happen. We're seeing the ascension of this victory.
We're bought
They're getting
in.
the supporting cast. We're bought in from day one. From day -1. I was bought in 9 months ago, and I've ate crow because of it. Next year, it's going to come pay due.
When y'all see me with the Thunder jersey, listen, you know what's up. You know what's up.
You deserve it, man. Y'all deserve it. And another thing that's so interesting about this too is he obviously, like, we see this trade and all we think about is defense because obviously that's Alex Caruso's like main selling point. But offensively too, he's quite literally no slouch. You can't leave him open. He shot like 3 or 5 threes per game last season, shot a career high 40% from the 3-point line. Nobody knows that, it feels like. And for him to be like a legit threat, a ball handler as well. We obviously know that he can facilitate the offense here and there too. He's quite literally under the vein of the Derek White like prototypes.
100%.
He's quite literally that.
Yeah,
And
he's
so
not quite the
now-
on-ball scorer as Derek White, but caliber player. Listen, defensively, like he has his own strengths. He's really good in transition, attacking the rim, filling lanes, knowing where he needs to go. Like you said, corner 3-point shooter. He's going to be to them kind of what Drew Holiday was, where, listen, I'm going to go stand in the corner. I'm going to cut, get my offensive rebounds, do my thing, and then I'm going to clamp the fuck at whoever needs clamping. It's going to fit exactly the same way.
Oh, my goodness.
It's so
I can't wait
damning
to
to
see
get
this
no
defense.
picks, though. It's so damning to get no picks. Like,
Yeah.
No, it's malpractice. It's malpractice. The same way that David Stern took over. You said it earlier. David Stern took over the Hornets back in the day. Adam Silver needs to do the same thing. Take the team away from everybody who's running the Bulls right now, because you can't keep doing this, and you can't take a team that is in a top 3 market in the league, and no matter how bad they are, attendance still top of the league. Like, Bulls fans care, and they will show up to these games. Shout out to them for that. I don't know how you could go year after year after year showing up knowing that your team is about to go 39-43. And
I think we should blame the declining ratings on Arturis.
bro,
let's do it. But we can blame them for everything that's wrong.
Why
I
haven't you
remember
solved global
literally-
warming yet, Arturis?
back in 2017, 2016, 2018, Bulls
We need
fans
answers.
were rioting, and things got so bad for Bulls Nation that they went ahead and I remember they put up a billboard saying "Fire Garpax" in the middle of the city, just for them to get, I don't want to say an even worse front office, but damn near you could call it an even worse front office right in place right after that. So sad.
Yeah, they know nothing but misery, and that's what they get for getting 13 years of the best basketball imaginable, Michael Jordan. They just live a lifelong price for that.
They're
guess
ruining
so.
MJ's legacy, believe it or not.
Nah, the
Some
Bulls
way,
had extended
somehow.
success. We look at them a lot better. But yeah,
Fuck
man,
those
listen, we're
guys.
going to, in a couple weeks, once free agency winds down, we're going to go through and grade every move like we always do. So we'll have more in-depth grades for this. I can tell you now it's going to be an A and an F. Spoiler alert.
Easy. Flying colors.
Before we get to the tier list, the main part of this episode is, real quick, there's reports today about Woj that in the last few days, he specifically said in recent days, the Philadelphia 76ers have cooled on their pursuit of Paul George. Yesterday, he put out a new episode of Podcast P where he was talking about what went wrong with the Clippers. And essentially, he was saying he didn't like the role everybody played. And he kind of made, I don't want to put words in his mouth exactly, but my interpretation was he didn't like how they had to do dirty work after getting James Harden. He didn't like that he was a tertiary option and had to do rebounding, defense, all this stuff. Seemed like he didn't like that as much and wanted to be in a place where they play the right style of basketball, which is hilarious after we just watched Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum do all the dirty work in the world.
Yeah.
Is this a coincidence that the 76ers don't want him the day after? I don't know, but it's pretty funny.
It's very funny.
He said the second that they traded away and lost Nicholas Batum and Robert Covington as well, like, he had to go ahead and do the dirty work. Pretty much, basically. I don't think you're putting words in his mouth, Isaac. That's what he was, like, quite literally alluding to.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing that is so, it hurts as a PG-13 fan. Like, it hurts my soul, and it just, like, kind of points to him being his career outcome is the reason I understand why things have gone its way so far.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes complete
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I don't want to. Again, we don't got to be too harsh about it, but there's certain patterns that arise when you hear certain superstars have certain mindsets, and every stop of Paul George's career has had issues that come apart due to personnel reasons. Remember the 2020 bubble, how they kind of fell apart from a locker room standpoint, and all these different things of happening. It doesn't seem like he's necessarily it's not. I'm trying to. How do I phrase this right? It's not his fault.
Yeah. Listen,
he's not. He's not an antidote to the problem. I'll say that.
You guys say all that. I heard one thing, and that is that Paul George is about to be an Indiana Pacer.
I heard Orlando Magic because they need ball handling.
Listen, there's a lot of work to be done in Orlando, and they get down. Like their entire organization is like, listen, we may not make shots, we may not have easy offense. We're gonna do the dirty stuff. we're gonna get down and dirty. And from what Paul George says, exactly, that's not what he wants to do. And I think that now, looking at the landscape, it would be very fitting for Paul George to be like, you know what, I'm tired of this. I've had to work so hard. Let me go back home, right? Let me go back to the Pacers. I could have Tyrese Halliburton. I could go be the number one scoring option on the perimeter. I could just play my game in a city that loves me. So right now, I think that Paul George might be an Indiana Pacer.
After he gets
kind of hard though,
on like 150 points on some team's head, he could just go right to his backyard and go back to fishing and catching some bass. I understand.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's kind of hard since they extended Pascal Siakam, and to do so it would have to be a sign and trade where they give up like some serious money, and it would hard cap them. So it would limit them in a way that they're normally, the Pacers are not an aggressive team. So I don't know if there's a realistic avenue there to get into the Pacers. He's gonna try. I bet that door doesn't get knocked on because the Clippers have shown no indication of wanting to pay him. I don't know that they loved that interview either.
Dude, something else that was said in this podcast that's just like,
keep this tweet up. Zoom in a little bit. Let's talk about this.
Very interesting, and it was something that everyone should notice. He said that he wasn't focused on chasing a championship. He just wanted to start playing basketball the right way. What does that even mean?
Hey, maybe he is Carmelo Anthony 2.0. Maybe he is that. Listen, maybe I have to start respecting. Maybe I have to start respecting PG because he's about his bag, and that is exactly what Carmelo is. He's like, listen, I just want to play my game. Maybe I might have to be a fan.
Yeah. That's this tweet funny. Right here says PG said he doesn't want to sit in the corner. He did say that. PG said he doesn't want to do the majority of the playmaking. He said that in the past when they got James. PG said he doesn't want to share the ball handling duties with Harden as much as he's had to. PG said he doesn't want to do the dirty work. What does Paul George want to do?
He wants to podcast.
What's good, everybody? It's Podcast P.
Exactly.
Presented by Prize Picks. He wants to do ad reads. What was your welcome to the league moment?
What was your welcome to the league moment?
It's a good podcast, so more power to him. But and to be fair, maybe he just puts his own foot in his mouth, and maybe we're taking this a route that's not entirely what he meant. Maybe he just wants a better balance, all these things. But we can only react to the things he said, and he does not do himself any favors with how he communicates his desires.
That is true. One thing listen, Paul George is getting up there. And this just sounds like some old man talk. He's like, man, I'm too old for this. Like, I can't be doing everything on the court. I can't be the number one scorer. I can't be the number one passer. I can't be the one diving on the floor for loose balls. I can't be the one setting screens. He probably wants to be in a situation where we always think about Paul George as like this super, like flexible and like malleable, like all-star. Yeah. He could fit in with a whole bunch of pieces. I think it sounds like, and obviously like we're getting our jokes off, but it kind of also sounds like he just wants to be in that perfect situation that we've been talking about him being in for the last 6 years, where you actually do have somebody who can make a little bit, but they still do need you as a scorer. It sounds like he wants to be a really good number two.
I think he's in that situation right now. I think that is exactly what you're describing. I
mean, not really though, because Kawhi doesn't play it.
Sure, him and James is the ball handler. He gets to do the wing stuff. Like, I guess the biggest issue is their lack of role players after that trade, which probably maybe that's what he means is they just need to. Everything said by these players is leverage to some extent, right? We know he's in contract negotiations. I don't think he's saying this for no reason. Maybe he's signaling that they need to get those Batum guys back in the door and get them the help they need, so they're not necessarily the ones in charge of that. And that's fair. Like you said, he's getting up there in age. He's like, my bones are getting creaky. I get it. It's just crazy because we just saw the team that won the championship be built off of wings in his position, albeit younger, but in his position as the top 2 players on the team, be willing to buy in and do all this dirty work and hard stuff. That's the value of having these big wings that can do everything. So it just looks a way that even if we know he doesn't necessarily mean it in the negative connotation we're giving it, there's some underlying things there that we can look if we really think about what he's saying.
Of course.
And I guess that's what. Shout out to Jason Tatum, man. Being asked to go ahead and guard Daniel Gafford, grab like 8-9 rebounds a game, do the dirty work, playmaking, all that. That's what makes champions champions.
Facts. Paul George would be looking at Derek White like, you can fucking guard him.
Yeah. I ain't doing that shit.
Throwing his hands up at Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah. Tough scene, man.
We'll see. Listen, he has interesting free agency coming up. I'm assuming he's going to opt out. It'd be weird if he opted in given his age and current contract situation. We'll see, man. Maybe the most likely outcome is he stays with the Clippers, but if they're not willing to offer him the money, it seems like they're being pretty hard line stance on this. He's the most interesting part of free agency for sure.
If they have to offer him a contract. If they don't, then they completely fall off of the Western Conference standings. I'm not going to say like they're not going to make the playoffs, but that without Paul George, they're definitely not a lock anymore. Considering
if they lose Paul George, they're screwed. Maybe they bring in DeMar DeRozan to replace him, but they're screwed.
They're not. If they don't have Paul George, they're not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We'll see how many can be.
The West is a bloodbath. It's loaded.
You're right.
And there's
yeah.
So, all right.
Tough. On to the next thing. We're gonna do the main topic of this episode. We're gonna do a tier list of the last 25 NBA champions. As last year when the playoffs ended, we did a ranking of the last 10 champions to kind of gauge where we view the Nuggets amongst recent contenders. Felt like that was too easy. We can't run that back. Got to up the ante every year. Now we're looking at the last 25, and we're going to do it into a tier list format, which I think when you have so many teams, it makes a little more sense since 1 through 25 is a hard ranking to do when they're all champions. This kind of gives us a better idea of how these teams are compared to each other, I think.
Welcome to the postseason. Welcome to the off season. Kicking off right now.
Yeah, this is already peak off season content.
Yep. Yeah. After Labor Day, we were gonna rank some shit, and we're gonna rank some shit often.
Exactly. And we can get back to seeing who continuously has the worst rankings or tier or list in TD3 history. Last summer,
ranking season's coming up.
I took that trophy away, but this summer I'm staying far, far away from it.
We'll see. How do you guys want to do this? Do you guys want to start with... Okay, so first off, let me say this. I think we should base this based on how good the team is, like body of work, regular season and playoffs, how quality the team is, because they all won, right? So a team like the 2011 Mavs is extremely impressive for who they beat in the finals, how they got there and whatnot, but like we know they're not quite as good as some of the other teams. So while they're an S-tier impressiveness, I think we should lean more towards quality of teams since we're kind of trying to gauge the Celtics against everybody.
Yeah, so when I was kind of like making the list, tier list, whatever in my head, the kind of thing where I was like, if we put all of these teams in a bracket and we're kind of like going like one by one and they have to play against each other, who would I actually trust in these series? So there's some no doubters that I think that we can start off with. So if it's okay with y'all, let's start off. 17 and 18 Warriors are in S tier.
I was going to say, do you want to do it that way or do you want to go chronological order? Start from 2000, go up.
I think we can get the no doubters out the way real quick.
Okay. So what's your no doubters?
17, 18 Warriors. Both of the KD ones and 2001 Lakers.
Those are all S tier?
Yes, easy.
Okay. So obviously 2017 and 2001 S tier. Do you want to put 18 there even though they kind of were a little lackadaisical, but we know they're still the same team?
Yeah, I think the talent level that they have and the talent gap between those two teams and everybody else is just too much.
Okay.
I agree.
Mo, do you have any other no doubters of any category?
I like the LeBron fan in me wants to say, what about 2016? But I don't know if they really are S tier, I think
They are not.
I'd lay off those conversations for now. For sure.
Again,
but no doubters for sure are those three. And we can just like, if we find any throughout the cracks of this list, then we can put them in there. But for now, I think this is fine.
Yeah. So 2016, that's a good example that emotionally, storyline, comparison, all this stuff, very impressive to do what they did in the finals coming back. Doesn't make them a higher quality team than somebody who won in 5, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we want to use... Okay, so the problem we always encounter with these tier lists, they're all good. So we always pack the top 3 tiers. Do we want to make use of this truly and have an F tier team?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, because I have several.
Okay.
Damn.
Who are your locks for F tier? And keep in mind,
Damn, I
y'all,
was
these are
ready
all
to
champions. We are not slandering your favorite team. Somebody has to be in the bottom tier champions.
Listen. Okay. 2006 Heat, F tier.
Wow.
That's a lock for me.
Yeah,
Wait, why are they
2006
a
Heat-
lock?
Because listen, this is obviously this is Wade at like a crazy level, but you have like the last like solid year of Shaq, and then after that you go into like Alonzo Mourning. You have a very old Gary Payton, Jason Williams, all this kind of stuff. Their path wasn't crazy. They did have some good wins like to get to the finals, but also I know it's just 1 year. But you look at what happens before and after this team, there's not really a great body of work to show that like this quality of team and this nucleus.
We should
is
avoid
an
doing that,
all-time-
though.
It's, I
We should
know
avoid doing that.
this
We
one,
should put
this
1
one,
year.
this one's very hard. But even still, do you think
No,
that
you're right.
Dwayne Wade? Do you think that Dwayne Wade and like a B- Shaq with Alonzo Mourning is one of the best trios of the last 25 years?
No
Like,
one's
it's-
saying that.
It's probably the worst.
They were 7th in offense for the season. These are regular season stats.
Yeah.
7th in offense and 10th in defense. Most of these teams are top 5 in both or top 5 in one, like have a truly elite thing. They were not truly elite in either. They were well-rounded, but 7th in offense, 10th in defense. They only won 52 games, right? They were not a super high-seeded team. They won this championship because Dwayne Wade went fucking apeshit in the conference finals and the finals. He averaged 32 in the finals, and he shot 60% from the field in the conference finals to beat,
Crazy.
I think it was the Pistons in the conference finals. So great. In terms of individual runs, if we were ranking finals MVPs and like the best players, Dwayne Wade would be high, but the team isn't necessarily as good. So I think overall, compared to everybody else on this list, they're pretty clearly on the bottom end.
They'd get smoked by everybody else on this list.
Yeah. Somebody else who I realize is low on this list. Go ahead and put the 2006 Miami Heat down low. How do you guys feel about the 2021 Bucks? I don't know that they're F tier, but I feel like they're D tier.
I have them
feel
right
it's
there
similar.
too.
I feel like it's similar with
D tier?
Giannis's run. Berserk. One of the best
Yes.
individual runs we've
Yes.
seen in decades.
Yes.
35, 12, and 5 on 66% true shooting for the finals. On one leg. One of the best performances my eyes have ever seen in my life as a fan. But as a team, they were not daunting. They were 5th in offense for the year, 9th in defense. We know the 2021 season was a weird year with injury luck because it was after the shortened offseason from the bubble. And listen, Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton were like the only playmakers outside of Giannis. The defense wasn't like first or second in the league like some of the other championship contenders on here. Again, they're all champions, but I feel like they're closer to the bottom than they are the top.
Me personally, I want to put them higher than that. I'd want to put them at C just because we witnessed some of the greatest plays of all time through Giannis, and I'm only like pushing them because of Giannis. But I have to look at this holistically. Giannis isn't the fucking team, even though even though he basically represented himself as that throughout the entirety of that series.
Yeah.
So I guess C's okay for now.
No, I said D, not
we're-
C.
Yeah, I'm going D.
Oh,
I'm going
D, my
for,
bad.
for the Bucks. Yeah, I think like because they are right at the edge of D and F for me. Just because like when you look at a lot of these other teams, there's as you get to the top end talent and the nucleus that you have with duos and trios starts getting really, really good. And Milwaukee has Giannis, but then the drop off between Giannis and his second best player and that same kind of drop off with a lot of the other teams around this area, it's kind of similar. And so I have one for you guys that I have an F tier that kind of follows the same mode of really, really good star and then kind of just a bunch of guys. And that's why I have guess.
We're going down south.
Just say the team.
Dallas Mavericks.
They are in F tier, but that's not who I'm talking about.
Okay.
Oh wait, I got it. Is it the Detroit Pistons?
No, I'm talking about the 2022 Warriors.
I agree. I was going to say that. Okay, so what I was going to say, I'm glad you said that. I was going to say let's throw two teams out there to set the top and the bottom, I think. 2015 Warriors and 2022 Warriors are the opposite experiences of the team. Mm-hmm. I think 2022 should either be F or D. And 2015, I know we like to make fun of them and say they're the weakest team because we're looking in comparison to 17, 18. I actually think 2015 is A tier.
A tier?
All right, let's start. Listen, let's start with 22 because I agree and we can get them out the way real quick.
Yeah.
They followed the same structure as the Bucks, right? You have an all-time great player who had an all-time run, but the rest of the team after that, it's like you have Klay Thompson coming off of injuries. You have Jordan Poole. Yeah. Andrew Wiggins ends up being the second best player on the team. Draymond Green had his struggles. It's a very, very weird roster. Everything clicks together and they're an amazing team, but they also had a lot of close calls. So I'm gonna put them in F. I'm gonna put them in F tier.
16th in offense, second in defense. 16th in offense, man. Like Curry went ape shit, similar to Dwayne Wade. They beat a Celtics team who wasn't ready to be there. Matchup were terrible. They got just neutered by the Warriors defense. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown cannot handle the pressure. It worked out well, but it's not one of the best teams here.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm noticing a pattern here. Like some of the greatest playoff rises of all time seem to appear as like Cinderella type runs.
Exactly.
And that's what 2022 is, and that's what 2006 is, and what Giannis did back in 2021, like you said, off of a hyperextended knee against the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, 100%. Pretty Cinderella run is.
Exactly. Oftentimes, sometimes you'll see like a 0-1 Shaq on the Lakers where he's peak of his powers, all-time great player, but also the team's great, so they just blow people out of the water. Sometimes you'll see those guys that their performance was so impressive because they weren't supposed to be there. And that lends to the teams not quite being as good as the other ones. Even though impressiveness is a different scale, they'd be much higher.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So how do you feel about 2015? Because 2015 is the opposite. They didn't have that all-time great player. Curry was obviously Curry. He won the MVP, but he wasn't 2016 yet. He took another leap after that. But this team, I don't think people realize how well-rounded they are. People forget because of the fact that they beat the Cavs in such an easy way because the Cavs got hurt. So people will act like it's only because of that. But they were second in offense and first in defense for the year. That is, there's only two teams on this list that have been top two in both of them. We'll get to the other one soon. Second in offense, first in defense. Name any of these teams real quick, Donovan. Name a random championship team.
2019 Raptors.
2019 Raptors were fifth in both. And they're also super well-rounded. So to be top two in both is absurd. The 2001 Lakers were first in defense, fifth in offense, right? So first and fifth is like the parameter, being top five in both. Top two in both is absurd. They were clicking on all cylinders on both sides of the ball. All these guys that we know came into form in 2016, 17, 18 were so well-rounded. They're very similar to the 2014 Spurs, who I think we typically hold in higher regard because they beat LeBron in a healthy way. So we kind of give them that narrative advantage in our head. But I don't think the 2015 team is as weak as people think it is.
See,
I think the reason why a lot of people don't necessarily feel that way for real is because, like, obviously Steph Curry wasn't like the fully developed version of Steph Curry that we knew that he turned, or that we later saw that he turned out to be. And then, like, on top of that too, it was before, like, I guess right during that run, they didn't feel like unstoppable, even though, like, maybe I'm just doing revisionist history right now. I have to do a lot of thinking. For me, I don't know why it just feels
because Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt.
Yeah.
No, I don't even think it's because, well, I think, okay, I do agree. There is that aspect, but there's been, like, throughout the whole Warriors dynasty, there's three versions of it. You have 2015, and then you have the version where you compare them at their peak, where it's, instead of Harrison Barnes, it's Kevin Durant. And so then you go back to the first one and you're like, oh, like that one actually isn't that good. Like, it's a nice story. They clicked, but they're nowhere near where 17 and 18 is. And even the one that they lost, they weren't even as good as the 2016 team that should have won the title and did all that stuff. So throughout the first 4 years, 2015 is low key like the weakest one.
Yeah.
And so that's why you can think of it that way. But if any other team on here, right, wins the title, is top 2 in both, they are A tier. I think for me, A tier is probably going to be the biggest tier for me. And I agree. I agree. You swayed me. I had them at B coming in here, but you swayed me. So I'll put them in A.
I was going to say, we'll see who else you put A. They might move down to B because there is probably similar teams that maybe they have equal balance and really good teamwork, but their star player is like ready and can combat any elite defense thrown his way. Curry wasn't really ready at that point yet to be that guy like he was in 2022. So maybe we can hold the star power against them. We'll see where the tier list progresses, but I think for now, putting them A and setting the precedent of like balanced teams that don't have a top 5 player all time at their peak can still be this good, I think is really important.
I agree. Okay. We're good with that.
Mo, where do you want to go next?
Mo, wait, real quick. Wait, before you say a name, let's keep hating. Let's keep hating. Pick someone low.
No, we need a B or C. Pick a B or C first. We need somebody in the middle. We got to
let's
set the places.
Okay, how do you guys
You need a good foundation for whatever you're building. We need a
What do you guys feel about the 2020 Lakers?
C.
Okay.
C or B. I don't know.
I'm thinking
at one point last year when we did this, I think I ranked them higher than 2015. I've rethought that a little bit. It's B or C. I don't think they're A.
I'm going B. They're at the bottom of B for me.
That's fair. LeBron and AD, the star power alone is really great. Their defense is 3rd in the league that year, 11th in offense. AD and LeBron both rose to the occasion. LeBron's finals stats are ridiculous. I think the playoff riser element to them, and that we know LeBron's still basically in his prime, and you don't want to see LeBron in a series. I know I talked about like 2015. We're not going to hold it against them because they don't have this guy. That is like the star power difference. When you have a LeBron, that that's kind of changes the rule book a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think like also people like to make fun of the bubble, and it's like the whole Mickey Mouse championship. In my opinion, this is one of the harder championships that has ever been run in terms of like a single year. People don't understand what starting and stopping in the middle of a season can do, and how much of like your rhythm can be thrown off. And the fact that you are fighting against that, the fact that you still do have LeBron at the in his prime, and the fact that offensively and versatility wise, you have Anthony Davis at his peak. You have jump shooting Anthony Davis, who is still elite defensively and can move all around the court in whichever way he wants. I would put them in B.
You agree, Mo?
I don't know why, but it's so weird hearing that the 2015 Warriors are a better team than the 2022.
They were.
It's like I see it.
I
guess it's the hater in me, bro. It's just the peak hater in me, bro. Around that time.
It's not even hater in you. It's hard. People, even us, nobody's immune to it. No matter how hard of a fan you are drawn to star power and biased by star power. But team basketball is important, and they were so well rounded that we see LeBron and AD as a top 2 being ridiculous. That we're like, that's got to be higher, right? I want them in a playoff series. No, we've been like as first take pilled in our brain to view the sport as an individual sport. So we're like, I got to pick the 2 guys that are the best individuals. But it's not really always that way.
It's not always that way, but in the sport of basketball, like the best individuals, like, that matters at the end of the day.
There you go. You're still first take brain. That's what it is.
No, it's just a game of basketball. It's not even about any other sport.
We haven't shook it off yet. Tell that to Luka Doncic going against the fucking Celtics.
It's just quite literally like the game of basketball. Like if you have a couple super dominant players who can somewhat play well off of each other, it's fucking raps. It's how it is, bro. Can't say that about any other sport other than this one right here.
Steph, Clay, and Draymond are also those guys.
It's not even about Steph, Clay, and Draymond. It's about Leandro Barbosa. It's about Maurice Spates. It's about Festus Ezeli. Let's get really in the trenches. David Lee was on that goddamn team, bro. Let's talk about it. Strengthen the numbers.
That's a good bench. You want to talk about the Lakers bench in comparison? You got Rajon Rondo and Jared Dudley out there, JaVale McGee. Like, we're not going against a firepower-led bench.
Oh, listen. Playoff Rondo, JaVale McGee with leadership.
He did level up.
Listen, JaVale McGee with leadership is kind of crazy. So...
No, but I agree with you, Mo. I know what you're saying.
I'm going B.
This is the hardest part. This is why I said I could see us moving the 2015 Warriors down to B when it comes to it. Keep building it out. We'll revisit this one for sure.
I already have my mind made up, but we can keep on.
Okay, where do you guys want to put? Let's do a Spurs team. Let's do the first one. Where do you guys want to put the 2003 Spurs?
Was
So
this
I have them
before
in-
he became a star?
Yeah, 2003, they won 60 games, were third in defense and eighth in offense. Duncan was the MVP. They beat the Nets in the finals, who I think rather meh competition when compared to everybody else. It was Manu's first year with the team. He wasn't a starter yet. He wasn't particularly relevant. He didn't average more than 10 points per game in the series. And Robinson was there, but he was old as fuck.
Yeah. So I'm putting this in D. Because again, this is one of those things where the Spurs are asking the most of Tim Duncan. This is the series where he goes out and he gets robbed of a quadruple double in the finals, right? This is that entire run. And if you look at his numbers, it's like 23 and 15. It's something crazy like that throughout the year. But again, Manu, the way that we know the Spurs is not this version. This is
100%.
If there was ever a time where people were looking at Tim Duncan and be like, all right, well, you got to put the team on your back and do it. This is that version. This is that title for him. And so this also, listen, everybody from like 03 to 2008, 2009, like these 4 or 5 years, spoiler alert, you're going to be kind of low on my team. This is the dead ball era. These offenses are atrocious. And so when I think about you playing other teams that have won championships, you're probably going to lose because you just can't score like that.
Yeah, well, I think because of that, we have to look at them in relation to the rest of the league at the time, just to keep it a little bit balanced, because it's not exactly like versus competition. So I think to offset that, we gotta kind of look at the rest of the league. But even then, eighth in offense isn't something elite.
I'll give them, if we were ranking them, like I'll give them credit because they were like 03, they were at the top of the league in terms of like 3-point attempts. Like they were as modern as you can get. But again, I told you my
12 a game.
Yeah. Listen, I told you my tiebreaker when I'm looking at all these teams is like, all right, at the end of the day, if I put the 03 Spurs in a series against the 07 Spurs or against the 05 Spurs, which one do I think would win? It would probably be those later teams. And so I think that this is the worst one of the 2000s run.
Okay, so we'll put them D. So it's another similar team that won with defense. Where do we want to put the 2008 Celtics, who were 11th in offense, first in defense? But first in defense by not just like a normal first in defense like some teams, by a wide ass margin. They were like 3 points better than second place. Tom Thibodeau's defense and the heavy rotations and helping the helper and all this stuff that he really prioritized and really revolutionized the way we play defense in the league was monumental at this time.
I'm feeling a good B or C. I might lean towards C. I don't know.
I'm going B.
I don't know. I might lean towards B actually.
And again, not a strong offensive team, but you don't got to be when you're one of the best defenses of all time, truly. And even though the offense wasn't terribly strong because they started goddamn Kendrick Perkins and Kevin Garnett together, they do have enough shot making for that era that they weren't like inept, right? Honestly, that's the same thing with the Lakers, who were 11th in offense, but they were third in defense. So it's like the same level of offense, but with top 3 all-time defense.
I'm going B. I'm going B because they also like have, because they have, especially for their era, they have like the star power that we that we gravitate to. You have Kevin Garnett, you have Ray Allen, you have Paul Pierce,
cool
like those three guys, and Baby Rondo, who's still able to to manage and navigate and facilitate a team, which
do
is
his
very, very needed.
razzmatazz.
Exactly. So I'm going B.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. LeBron and AD are a better offensive duo, I think, than theirs, but they have the better defense make up for it. So it's similar level teams. One has one of the best defenses of all time to give them the edge. One has best player of all time, damn near at his peak to give them the edge. Like that's a nice balance, I think.
Cool.
Okay, I like that.
All right, Mo, pick a team now, Mo.
I've been dying to talk about the 2004 Pistons, and I want to know where y'all want to put them. I'm itching to put them in D.
They're a hard one because it's, again, the difference between impressiveness and like clout versus how good they are. You don't want to be the guy to slander the Pistons because they're so cool and such a good story, but they're fucking F.
You say that as if like Rasheed Wallace is going to come out of your closet and beat you over the head with a brick.
No, I mean, listen, they were 19th in offense that year. 19th. That's the worst offense we're going to see in this list. And they were second in defense at the Spurs, which, they weren't first, but that's just because we had 2 all-time defense in the league that year. And they just beat the shit out of a team, the Lakers, who weren't top 5 in either category and shouldn't have been there. They were just there because Kobe and Shaq held that team together on their back while it was falling apart. And it was just the perfect storm for them to go out sad against a team who was just, we know everything about the Pistons, right? They're punching you in the mouth, gritty, going to want it more against a team full of divas who weren't supposed to be there. It was a perfect storm for them to get where they were. Good for them. They made the finals again next year. Somebody's got to be at the bottom.
The offense was just so atrocious. Are you telling me this was the worst NBA Finals offense that we've seen in the last 25 years?
Oh, quite easily.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
The next lowest one is 2022, which is also F tier. They have the 16th offense. After that, I wrote them all down before we started. There's nobody else below 15th, just those two teams.
Yep.
Listen, sorry
Seems
Pistons.
like we have consistency.
Sorry Pistons.
Listen, there's a lot of elite defenses on this team. Most of them have good offenses too.
Yeah. This is why we say defense wins championships, bro.
That's literally my biggest takeaway when writing this all down. There's so many top 3 defenses on this list. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Who do you want to pick next?
All right, Donovan, your turn. Who are we going next?
We're
We're doing the Celtics last, right? This year's?
Sure.
Okay, we did
Yeah,
last.
I didn't
Okay, who's
know.
next?
I didn't know we were doing that, but okay. Let's go with the 2019 Raptors.
So it's B or C, right?
Absolutely. And I kind of want to lean towards the upper half, B.
Yeah, me too.
This
Denver's
team has
2020 is
depth.
tough. Okay,
This team has depth, bro.
a fuck ton of depth. Are we assuming everybody's fully healthy, or are we looking at what actually happened? Because if everybody's fully healthy and it's Kawhi fully healthy, like he wasn't that healthy for the finals, easily B, I think. And OG wasn't there for the finals either.
I think we can't talk about assuming what's like, we can't talk about what actually happened, because then I'd have a conversation about the 2015 Warriors, like Caruso was there, Kevin Love was there. But I'm just talking about the quality of the team and what they actually did.
Well, yeah, but I mean, think about it like
Warriors
this way.
hated
We
me
saw
screaming.
them. I mean, like we saw them at the end of the regular season when they're fully healthy. Is what I'm saying. So we've seen this team be healthy before and seen them be dominant. They just weren't in the playoffs, but they still got it done regardless. But we know that if OG was healthy and if Kawhi was healthy, we think about them in an even better way. So that makes you think we should give them the B because they did this without being fully 100% like they were in the regular season.
I'm going
I see what you mean.
B. Yeah, I'm going B anyways, just because I think that this is the one year where we were able to get like healthy Kawhi at the peak of his powers, and he led a team to a title all the way through. And after years of being unclutched, Kyle Lowry came through. Fred VanVleet stepped up. Like, you have a lot of people in this specific year that rose to the occasion all year long, and their defense and their, like, you guys talked about their depth, their versatility on defense. Also the coaching advantage that they have with Nick Nurse and just how crazy and mad managed that he was able to be.
Yeah.
I would put them in B.
Yeah, bro.
I'm
They
with
made
it.
a last-minute trade for Marc Gasol that year. They had Jonas Valanciunas still on that roster. They said this dude got cement-ass fucking feet. We got to get his ass out of here for one of the better rim protectors and just defensive minds as a big man that they could get. Traded away Jonas Valanciunas and whatever else assets for Marc Gasol. Shored up that front line with Serge Ibaka. And then, of course, dude, Pascal Siakam was a baby there still too. Man, they were so deep.
Yeah. Let's go B. What do you want to do with the 2000 and 2002 Lakers? Donovan, I feel like you're the best expert on this time period. How do you differentiate them from the 2001? Because
He was there in the
2000,
stands
I know, was
watching.
2000 was Kobe's first All-Star year, and he wasn't Kobe yet. He was at 22 points per game. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like 2001 where their peak of the powers both damn near 30. Does that make them A for you? And what about, how do you feel about 2002? Because I don't have a strong feel on that one.
So I have 2002 in A tier as well.
Okay, so
And-
both of them?
Yeah, so 2000 is weird because 2000, Kobe, like you said, Kobe isn't necessarily Kobe at that time, but of the three-peat, that's their best record. Like, they won 67 games that year. And so team-wise, that is, and just getting it done, that is the best team. But then when we talk about 2001, they're the ones who have the crazy playoff run, and so we value that a lot. And then also, like Kobe elevates and does all the thing. So I would have 2002. If we were ranking them, I would have 2002 over 2000. 2000, like, personally, I kind of want to have them in B just because you didn't see that elevation from Kobe as like a legitimate top 5 talent in the league the same way that it was for 01 and 02. but they won 67 games and it's still Shaq at the peak of his power. So they both can be A if we want to put
Yeah, I think so too. Best defense in the league, 5th in offense.
Yeah.
They're more similar to the 2015 Spurs and 2015 Warriors, where it's just more well-rounded, but around their one star who was the hierarchy was very clear that year. And in 2001, you got that perfect balance. You know, we saw in later 2004, kind of the balance fell out, and that's why the team kind of led to what happened there. But at that point, it was the superstar, one of the best players of all time at his peak, and his sidekick. And that's a formula that works pretty well.
If you look at like Shaq's finals, right, like year by year, and what he was doing in the 2000 finals, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like he averages 38 and 17 in the finals.
It's absurd.
That is stupid as hell.
It's dumb. It's dumb. It's idiotic. So yeah, you can't. It really doesn't matter who your second. It doesn't matter who your second guy is. If they are competent enough to be even like a lower level all-star, 20 through 24, and you have 40 and 20 as your starting center, yeah, you guys can be A.
Okay. Let's also, so now that we have all the Lakers there from that era, let's do all the Spurs. We have 2003 in D. I think 2007 is clearly A. We have Manu and Tony Parker
100%.
peak of their powers. All three of them are clicking when they're all truly stars. 07 is the easiest 8 in the world to me. They beat the living shit out of LeBron. It was a bloodbath. He never stood a chance.
I agree.
Where does 2005
Fair.
go?
I have 2005 just like a notch above 2003. Like I would still have a D because you start to see a little bit of Manu come into his own. You see Tony, like they are not all the way there. And this is still probably the very end of Tim Duncan and you asking him like, hey, we need you to absolutely be the best player offensively and defensively and do all this stuff. And 2007 was
C.
Really?
Because they're first in defense. They're first in defense by a wide margin this year. They went from third in 2003 to first. This is like they're the reason the 05 Pistons weren't first in defense.
How much better than the rest of the league are they in 2005?
I'll pull it back up. But they were first in defense, 8th in offense. Manu started every game this year, and it's the 1 year he made an All-Star because of that. He hadn't gone to the bench, and that makes a big difference. It was the year before Tony Parker made his first All-Star, so no, that's what separates it from 2007 is when they were all clicking. But you know, they had 2 All-Stars. Manu was Manu. Their defense was 98. Wait, what year am I looking at? Oh, this is playoffs. Oops. Their defense was 97.8 was their defensive rating. Everybody else was 99 or 100. So they're 2 points better than everybody else. 2.5 points better. That may not seem like a lot, but 2.5 points is quite a good amount to be better than the second place in the league.
Okay.
Is that good enough to put them in C though?
Well, nobody's in C, so I feel like
I know. We have a glaring hole.
somewhere.
We have an issue every single time we have a tier list. Some shit like this happens.
Listen, they're better than 03. They're not as good as 07. C it is.
We just want to make them fit C so bad. Okay.
Yeah, I just thought they make sense to see. Let's put somebody there so we have something to measure against.
I agree.
I'm trying to correct our issues. We always have a tier list where we forget a tier and just like there's nobody to set a line there. We got to set a benchmark for what every tier looks like.
We need to go to therapy. Is what it sounds like.
All right, let's
You know who else I think is C? 2023 Nuggets.
Ooh.
Really?
I think they're either C or D, but I think they're better than the teams in D, so I'm gonna go C. I cooled off on them a little bit from last year. Actually, I don't think I did either, because I think I put 2020. I had them in 2020 as like neck and neck. Now I'm looking back historically, I think they're a notch below. I think this is a year more similar to 2021, where Jokic was on demon time and just God mode, carried them and blew the doors off everybody in the league. But it was Jokic and a bunch of high-end role players. There's no stars. I know Jamal Murray played like a star in the playoffs. Is Jamal Murray. There's a reason he's never an all-star. They are clicking around him perfectly to the highest degree, but the star power is really lacking in comparison to everybody else. And they're 5th in offense, 15th in defense. Not particularly impressive compared to everything else I've said so far, right?
That recency bias is kicking me right now because
Yeah.
I want to put them like you look at a lot of these teams and you're like, hey, if they have if you have a guy that at the time you legitimately can be like, that's the best player in the world. Like 2023 Jokic we were able to see him last year and be like, no, he's the one. He has ascended, and it's also the best defense that he's ever played. He's able to be a competent defender. When you have that level of offensive creation, and again, you might be able to say, yeah, Jamal Murray. There's a reason why he's never been an all-star. He consistently rises to the occasion. So everything that he did last year, I don't really have a reason to think that that's not who he is. And
for sure,
their depth is great. Everybody clicks. Everybody fits. I would have them neck and neck with 2020.
Everything you're saying applies to the 2021 Bucks as well. Everything you're saying applies to the Bucks, and there's a reason you have them at D.
Do you?
So does
think
that mean we should put them in D?
No. I think they're a little bit better. I think they have the offensive firepower, and so the problem is, I said they're fifth in offense, 15th in defense.
I just think,
but they are playoff risers. But they are playoff risers for sure. So they don't have the consistency of some of the teams above them. I think regular season matters. I'm not looking at just playoffs. I think we need to see body of work because, like we said, playoff risers happen and they get the perfect run. But that's not representative of who they are for a large sample size. It just means they had a really hot month. And they are that, but I think their playoff rising is a little bit more than luck. That's kind of how they're built. Jokic is I'm going to get by in the regular season, then I'm going to beat the shit out of you at the end when I need to. So I think it's more of part of the formula, not luck like some other teams might be.
I'm going B, man.
That recency bias kicking your
21. Listen, 21 is, there's a reason why I have it in D, but that's also because 21 is just a stupid year in the NBA. Like, they started too quickly. Everybody was hurt. It's a dumb year. It really is. 23 is, bro. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'll go C with you. I can't go D.
I never said D. I never said D. C. I don't think D for a second. But Mo, you can be the
okay. Mo had said D. My bad.
I'm fine. Yeah, I asked if D should be more in the play, but I can vibe with C for sure. Like, taking all my emotion out
that kind of
it
hurts.
Seeing what this team for what it really is. All the role players locking in, Jamal Murray looking like a top 10 point guard in the NBA once the finals hit. And then, of course, like Aaron Gordon being the perfect four to put around him with all the connective things that he does. Like, this team was dominant, but if we're looking at it from a full body of work standpoint, this team was so lackadaisical. They had their ups and downs like crazy throughout the entirety, not the entirety of the season, but towards the back half of the season. I guess is the tendency with championship teams, but we see it more. I feel like we see it more than ever with them specifically.
No, I know what you're saying. Jokic lost the MVP, remember? Because in the last half they locked up the 1 seed and they were kind of just cruising, and that doesn't really matter. But that's why people feel like So let me say this again. You said they locked in. Jamal Murray locked in the perfect time. This team's a definition of lock in. Their definition of get there. They knew that to get to the playoffs, stay healthy, coast to the end of the season, so they can lock in, sit up, grab their controller, get close to the TV. That's the definition of who this team was, which isn't a bad thing at all. Again, a lot of these teams rose to the occasion. That's why you get in NBA history. But some of the other teams were just like that forever and didn't necessarily have to have that level up, and it makes their body work a little bit better.
Denver had a bad 2-week stretch, and Kendrick Perkins thought he was Al Sharpton, and then now everybody, and then now the MVP goes to Joel Embiid. Like,
that's not the point.
I'm just saying, like, they made their run throughout the playoffs was fairly easy, right? They swept the Lakers, and even when you thought that Anthony Davis was going to be the best option to guard Nikola Jokic, he fries him, right? The Warriors, they beat them in 5. Devin Booker had to shoot 80% for back-to-back games.
I don't disagree.
For that. I'm just saying, like,
everything you're describing is Jokic, not the Nuggets.
But what you're saying about, they're a team that like kind of cruised and then just sat up. They were good the entire year, and it was like a bad stretch or whatever. But like, again,
that's not my point at all.
In March, that's something that you often say is fake basketball. Like, once we get to the end, like, it's kind of weird. I think that they are. When you have that, and this is where for me, like, the high end talent kicks in. I think that Nikola Jokic in 2023 is kind of up there in like the best single season, the best like players that we've ever seen. And so when you ask me about him versus somebody else, like, would I take them over the 2019 Raptors? Probably. Like, I think I might trust Jokic more than 2019. I think it's a conversation.
I agree. So 2019 is a good precedent, because I was going to say, if you're doing high end talent, LeBron and AD is 2 superstars. We know what the Celtics had. if you want to compare it to 2019, that's a good precedent because they had one superstar and a bunch of really good players. But Kyle Lowry, Marcus Gasol, like Pascal is a little bit better, a little bit more talented. And plus they have ridiculous depth, which kind of puts it apart. It really is Jokic and a cast that around him would be mid as fuck, but Jokic is perfectly built to make them rise. They're perfectly built to Jokic's game. They're not the most talented team in the world. They're just an extremely good team because they fit. Like even 2015, they're there because of the kind of same thing where they fit. It's not necessarily high end talent. Even them dinging them for that, they still have 3 All-Stars. You know, it's still a little bit of a different world we're operating in.
All right, we'll put them in C. Let's keep moving. We have like 10 more teams to get through.
Yeah,
we're getting there. Not too bad.
Oh,
we
actually,
got plenty of
we're
time.
moving along kind of. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us. Look at us. Because normally
Mo,
we
what's the
take
next
forever.
All
What
right.
team you eyeing, Mo?
Where do you guys
Who's
want
left?
to put the 2010 Lakers?
Okay, so look at
They're
09
at
and
the
10.
bottom
Donovan,
for
what's
me.
the difference between 9 and 10 to you?
So 2009 is the better team. 2009 is the team that was like that's the year coming off of the beatdown against the Celtics. They were better. They had like a couple tests, but it wasn't really like like for real tests. 2010, the road through the playoffs was a little bit harder. Like they got a little bit poked by the Thunder in the first round. They needed a really, really clutch performance by Kobe and some game winners in the conference finals against the Suns. Had to go to a game 7 against Boston. It just felt like every step of the way, they were one play away from the series completely changing. And 2009, there was just a little bit more dominance there. So I would have 2010 in D, and I would have 2009 in C.
I have no real issue with that. What do you think, Mo?
You said you want to put 2010 in D?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 9 and C.
Ah.
I have a hard time gauging these Lakers teams against everybody else. At the time, they were considered a very good deep team with a good supporting cast. I think sort of similar to the 2020 Lakers, and where they had their superstar, they had their secondary star. I think AD is a little bit better than Powell, but same type of thing. Great big to play off their star, and then a well-rounded supporting cast that wasn't necessarily star-studded, but it was a lot of good high-end role players. That's kind of how they were viewed at the same time. I have a hard time because I was just getting into basketball, and it's hard to have a strong feel for those role players at the time, looking back. And those guys didn't have great careers after that. You know, Shannon Brown didn't like light up the league for a few more years, so I have a hard time gauging just how good that supporting cast was.
Shout out Shannon Brown, bro.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll rock with you.
Shout out
If you gotta go
Shannon
C and D, I'm with it.
Yeah. Like looking at it now, those are the one of my most early and very few very few prime memories of like the Lamar Odom days and shit like that. And Derek Fisher was doing his thing back then too, being a sniper to those standards back then. Like you said, I don't feel the like ultra connectivity behind Kobe and Powell with all those role players. Like shout out to Luke Wallen and them boys and Andrew Bynum
Trevor
and shit.
Ariza.
But
I don't know
I
about
don't-
Sasha Vujicic. Man,
Sharpshooter.
exactly. The 2009, 2010 team, those were the teams that I like really. I remember being like, obviously, like Kobe's my guy. I was buying back-to-back championship T-shirts. Like there was a time where I was supporting the Lakers because of Kobe.
Yeah, I was a young
love
Lakers
these
fan, but I was
years.
also fucking 10 years old. So
Exactly.
like, I think most people don't realize that these memories they have of these teams, they were children, and your thoughts and analysis of the team back then doesn't matter because you were in the 5th grade. So I'm like, sure, I thought they were sick, but like, I don't know. I didn't know anything in the 5th grade.
Like, yeah, like, bro, like I was watching them every night. It's like, all right, like
You're not shut
paying
the fuck
attention.
up. You're doing times tables. And yeah, I don't know.
I
Like,
just realized that
Getting
Andrew
tripped up
Bynum
on
this
9
season
times 9?
averaged like 15 and 8, bro, that year. That's crazy.
no, Andrew Bynum was good before the injury. And
What's
I don't know,
11
something
times
about them-
12?
You know what it is too? Like a lot of these teams we weren't around for, but over the years of being really in the NBA, you do your research and you learn about these past teams. For some reason, these two Lakers teams kind of just get like lost by in history that they aren't often talked about. So I haven't learned quite as much about them as I have like the Spurs teams, you know? I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
I
don't-
feel
I don't know
okay
why.
with putting them at C personally.
Yeah, I'll go see.
Okay. Let's do 2012 and 2013 Miami Heat. The 2012 Heat were 6th in offense, 12th in defense. No Ray Allen, and hadn't quite moved to small ball quite as much yet. They started to center all at full time. Chris Bosh was power forward. 2013 is when they won, was it 27 straight games?
Yeah.
1st in offense, 9th in defense. We saw the full might of Eric Spoelstra with the big three at the peak of their powers. 2013 was a better team. What does that do? Okay, I'll say this first. I think 2013 is A. Is that fair?
I agree.
That's fair. No less than A. I was going to say that.
I agree.
Does 2012 also deserve A?
No.
They don't.
No.
Do they deserve B?
Yes.
They could deserve B.
There's a
for
pretty.
sure.
So here's the thing. They won back to back. I think there's a pretty big difference in quality between these teams. I think 2013 is like significantly better to the point where I don't think it'd be crazy to go like A and C. I think 2012 it was just like.
Whoa.
I think 2012 was just like round peg, square hole, punching it in, but they happened to get it done because LeBron was the best player of all time at his peak. But I don't think a lot of people have a sort of hot take where they're like, listen, those Heat teams weren't as good as you thought they were when you look back at it. They're talking about 2012. That team was not spectacular as a team. They were just obviously immensely talented. You had LeBron James, you had a great coach, you had Dwayne Wade, and they made it work against a young team that, again, a lot of young teams lose in the finals first time they get there. 2013 is when they were legitimately an all-time great team. I think C is 2012 is kind of mid.
Never in all my years of life did I sit here and think that you'd be disrespecting Shane Battier just like this, bro.
I love Shane Battier. I fucking love Shane Battier.
Thursday night.
I love Shane Battier. I just don't love what was the center's name? Was it Joel Anthony was the starting center?
Yep.
Yeah, I love Joel Anthony.
Shout out Joel Anthony.
Yeah.
No, I think it's A B. I think it's B.
Okay, whatever.
I just listen. We get LeBron fully stepping into LeBron James as we know him, and I think part of the reason that they were able to bang this square peg into a round hole is because LeBron is just that good. And like if you told me that they are going up against 2019, like at the end of the day, they can still out talent everybody, and they still did follow the formula that helped LeBron throughout the rest of their career. They still had shooting, they still had drivers. You had Chris Bosh. Yeah, they hadn't leaned in all the way. That's why they're not as good as 2013. But having those three guys and being able to play defense the way that they did, like for 2012 and 2013, both of them had this like defensive switch where for like 5 to 6 minutes in a game, they really could wreck it. It wasn't as consistent as the all-time great defenses, but if
every LeBron team is like that though.
Exactly. But like if they sat up, then it's like, okay, we're here. So I think they still belong in B.
They spread their shoulders, smack the hardwood. It's
yeah. So
that's hilarious, bro.
Okay, I'm with that.
I agree.
2011.
Let me shut up.
Interesting team. Along the lines of the teams towards the bottom, where it's a team that isn't necessarily the highest quality in the regular season. 9th in offense, 10th in defense. Pretty mid in comparison, but they also managed to win 57 games, which I was telling you before we start recording. I'm looking back at their stats. Again, 9th in offense, 10th in defense. They weren't at the top of the league in turnovers forced. They weren't at the bottom of the league in turnovers given up. They weren't at the top of the league in offensive rebounds. I don't know what made this team so fucking good, but they managed to win 57 games despite being just good, not great in both offense and defense.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. It's crazy that they're in F tier too. This is just wild. You know?
Shout out Dirk. You gave LeBron the
insane.
biggest black eye on his resume that any GOAT could imagine. You're comparing you to all the other greatest teams of the modern NBA. It's hard to put him much higher than D.
They are not sniffing D tier. This is an F tier finals.
Oh, you're passionate about this. I will. Okay.
They're not sniffing D tier? Are you serious?
No.
They can sniff it a little bit. They can get a whiff, like a cartoon pie in the air. The little scent goes across the screen. They can.
Y'all are disgusting. If you are going purely based off of the run that they had, they're A tier, right? They're S tier because the run that they had was crazy. But again, like Jason Terry is the second best player, or like Tyson Chandler, like it's okay, it's fine.
Wash ass Jason Kidd.
No, this is an F tier team.
It's like 2021, 2022, where their star players run is so fucking impressive because the team is so low on this list.
Mm-hmm.
Like they moved heaven on earth. It's crazy.
So it sounds like one of those Cinderella runs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking
I
news:
understand.
free agent guard Malik Monk intends to sign a 4-year deal to return to the Sacramento Kings.
What?
No!
4-year, $78 million deal. R.I.P.
What?
the Orlando Magic's dreams. Shout out the Kings for bringing their guy back.
What?
4 years, $70 million.
Okay. Good for Sacramento. Need another piece, but shout out to them.
Yeah,
Because
I
I for sure I thought Malik was out of there and I was ready to kick them out of the playoff picture. But okay. This is good for them.
Hey, listen, they're mid. We don't like him very much as a team, like in terms of like where you predict how good they're gonna be next year. But you gotta keep your guy. It's just good asset management you find this diamond in the rough, you nurture him into being a really high level starter, and you don't want to lose that for nothing. It would look really bad from a management perspective. So even if this team goes nowhere fast, you have him long term. It could eventually be a trade piece. Losing him for nothing is a disaster.
Team chemistry plus 20. Him
Yeah,
and
this is
De'Aaron
great.
Fox.
I know De'Aaron Fox is doing a Dougie right now for sure, man. He's happy as hell. He has
Kevin
this guy
Huerter,
right
your
by his
days are
side
numbered.
still.
Oh, for sure.
Kevin
For
Huerter.
sure.
Oof. Yikes, man.
Yeah, get ready to speak some other team. You get ready to speak Orlando Magic actually, or maybe Golden State Warriors.
I wanted the
Orlando would
the
be nice.
Sacramento Kings to go ahead and make a trade for Zach LaVine. I had that dream since like 2023 in September, bro.
They got Zach LaVine at home, and they just gave him $78 million. He doesn't get hurt.
Zach LaVine at home.
Low key, not that different of players, honestly. I mean, listen,
All
Zach
right,
LaVine
let's
has the
slow
clout.
down.
He's
Let's
better. He's
slow
made
down.
All-Stars before. But in
Yeah,
terms of archetype
okay,
of player,
so not the same
they're not that
players,
different
yeah.
in terms of athletic guards who can attack the rim, high-level shooting, pass a little bit, not give you much on defense. They're not that different archetypes.
I think they're different
Okay.
tiers.
They are.
Different
They
tiers.
are.
I would agree with you in
Similar
2019.
archetype? Huh?
Listen, the old days are no longer these days for Zach LaVine. It has been a while since that Zach LaVine you're describing has walked through these doors.
I think Zach LaVine is an explosive offensive player, just like Malik Monk, but I think he has consistencies in his game that just seem unstoppable at times. Seem
Did you use
unstoppable. They're not
unstoppable and Malik Monk in the same sentence? Like, listen, he's
No,
good.
he's Zach LaVine and
No,
unstoppable
for
in the
Zach
same sentence.
LaVine.
Oh,
relax,
okay.
relax,
Okay.
relax, relax.
That's
Which
relax.
I think is worse. Okay,
All right,
now that
let's-
you're there,
let's
we
get back to
your
the
list. Yeah.
Shout out Sacramento. Light the beam.
Back to this list. Oh, let's see. We have 3 teams left: 14, 16, and 24. 2014 Spurs. We love them. Everybody loves
Great
them.
team.
The beautiful game. One of the best ball moving teams you've ever seen. Won with complete balance and teamwork with 0 superstars in the same way 2015 did. But I think Steph Curry is even better than their best players were. Less star power than 2015. I'll say that. Do they still deserve A? And is this something we have to detach from the fact that they beat the Miami Heat?
Ooh.
5th in offense, 4th in defense, by the way. So it's similar
I mean, listen, they
to the
still are
2019 Raptors.
top 5 in both, though.
Yeah,
Are
which is
they
great. Which is great.
B?
This is so hard. This is so hard.
Okay, so look at this. 2007 is A, and 2019 is B. These are the 2 most similar teams. 2007 has maybe the best interior defender of all time at the peak of his powers and 2 all-star caliber guards. 2019 is more team-oriented. Do you feel like at the diminished state of Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker's career with a young Kawhi, which one of those teams are they closer to?
I think the team with Boris Diaw really moves me. So I think I'm going 2014 in A.
I'm
So
okay with that.
that's what I
Listen, they
think
beat the
I'm
Heat, who are in
That's what I
A.
think I'm
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to argue that down.
Now they are. I'm gonna be real. They are getting massive oral points because the highlights of them moving the ball around, right? It's amazing, right? You have a nickname after your team, so that alone is like, hey, maybe they were better than I remember. So I'll give them A. I'll give them.
Well, what do you
respect.
think? I don't want to be the one to have to argue against 2014 Spurs, but I'll go wherever you go, Mo.
You want to?
This team was hella deep, man. This team was hella
Very
deep.
deep.
This is the Tiago Splitter days, the Marco Bellinelli days, prime Patty Mills.
Let's go. Prime Patty Mills.
Danny
Love
Green
it.
was
Brad Petty
snapping too.
Mills is a problem.
Y'all laughing, but I mean, it's real shit for real.
They really don't know. They'll never know.
Yeah, this team was seriously.
They don't know
so I
about
think
Patty's
I'm-
move. They don't.
They don't know a damn thing.
They don't.
Exactly, bro.
They had Danny Green too.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, so if we're going them A, Let's rest this list. I think 16 and 20. 16's A, right?
Yes.
2016 definitely should be A.
Yeah. We're down to the Celtics. I think they are the exact same teams as the 2014 Spurs and the 2015 Warriors. I think they're also A tier. I think it is just pure balance and domination from a top-down perspective. They have the same assist percentage. Actually, through 4 games, they had the same assist percentage as the 2014 Spurs did. Don't know if that changed in the playoffs. That is top 1 offense in the league, which is the highest offensive rating of all time, which is more about the league trends, but best offense in the league. And number 2 defense, only replicated by the 2015 Warriors. Now, you could say that the Warriors' top-end talent of Curry, Clay, and Draymond is better, but it's hard to argue against what the Celtics have 1 through 6, and Joe Mazzulla proved to be an elite coach, and their bench pieces that we had a little bit doubts about proved to be good enough, and they beat the living shit out of everybody in their path, 0 resistance. How do we put them below A?
Bro, I have some stats to read off, okay?
Let me hear them all.
The longest losing streak of this season for them, the entirety of the year, was 2 games. They have
That's
an
absurd.
NBA record of 17 25-point wins, 10 30-point wins, and 3 50-point wins.
What?
That is disgusting. They have the 5th best scoring margin in NBA history of 11.34 points. That is disgusting. They scored the 2nd most points in the entirety of an NBA season. That is absolutely, again, in threes specifically. They made the 2nd most threes. Disgusting.
Dude, this is one of the best teams of all time, and I get it. We fuck Boston, everybody till the day they die. I understand it. Nobody likes Boston. Nobody likes Jason Tatum. I understand. Nobody wants to root for them or give them props because they had an easy run. It was boring. Yada, yada, yada. All of that can be true, and it can also be unequivocally true that this is one of the best, most dominant teams of all time. You look at them in relation to the league around them. You look at them in relation to all these other teams and a top-down, fully viewed roster construction perspective, not just top-end talent bias, not just iconic moment bias. Everything brought in, there's no argument for them being less than A to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're very quiet.
Yeah.
The hater in him is just fucking shaking right now.
I am. I've had a very hard time thinking about this team in a historical context for the last couple of days because they operate on both sides of the coin where, like, statistically, and you watch them and it's just like, yo, like, how do you stop these guys? Like, they are dominant, but I just don't feel like they are an all-time team. However, everything that you guys said for the regular season and the fact that they were 12 and 2. Yeah, 12 and 2 going into the finals. And Kristaps Porzingis missed 2 series. This is a team that we've praised. This is a team that we've praised all year long for having the best top end depth. And they were starting a 38-year-old and playing him 40 minutes a night because they didn't have their starting center, and they were still able to only lose 2 games through the first 3 rounds. This is an A tier. This is a dominant team. And so we have to give them their respect. Now, this is also a team that is, the sum is greater than its parts. So if we want to have Jaylen Brown conversations, Jason Tatum conversations, we can have those. But when you put everybody together, you can't mess with these guys. Not this year. Not this year. Not this year.
All the arguments are against their stars, which are valid. Listen, their stars aren't as good as some of these other teams.
Yeah.
Cool. True. You can, if you want to hold it against them, that injury luck, that their teams they face weren't particularly good, I'm with you. The Pacers are not a typical conference finals caliber team. That's fine. That is also true.
That happens all the time.
True thing. Another truth here is they beat the living piss out of those teams. If they would have struggled and like got pushed to 7 by some mid or whatever, then it'd be like, all right, they're not serious. They don't deserve it. They pulverize these teams that they should have pulverized. At the end of the day, you want to be upset that they had the opportunity to face mid. You can be upset about it, but you can't hold it against them when they win in the fashion that you want them to, that they should, given the caliber of the team they are.
Yeah. And also, they've done, they did along the way, they did the things that we didn't think that they could. So like in the Indiana series, they had 2 wins where they had to come back. Granted, it's Indiana, but also you're in the Eastern Conference Finals. Games are going to be crazy. You're going to have to win those games. And they were on the road down 15, 18 points. And they came back and they won. Where in years past, they probably lose those games, right? At least one of them.
Yeah.
Even in the finals, they blow the lead right at the end of the game. How many times have we seen Boston choke these games away down the stretch? And this is the reason why we're saying, oh yeah, we can't trust them to win the title because they can't close out these games. Guess what? They did it in game 3. So all the crunch time concerns, which was the number one thing that was an issue for me, they addressed all of them. And so you can't say anything about them as a team in 2023 or 2024.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Every single one of these teams, like, okay, first question. When was the last time we saw a team this dominant in recent history?
Well, let's look on this list.
17, 18?
17, 18.
17, 18. I would go to say like maybe 2019.
Nah.
Healthy Warriors. Healthy
Okay.
Warriors. And even in that year, I remember vividly, like, that Warriors team was fighting for their lives in the first round against the Los Angeles Clippers. Y'all remember when
No, they
name,
weren't.
Patrick Beverly was like,
For their lives?
oh yeah. No,
They lost 2 games. They lost 2 games. They
Yeah,
were fighting
they-
for their lives.
in 6 games, I know, but my point is, like, every single one of these teams, no matter like how
Yeah.
powerful they are towards the tippity top, obviously the Warriors are like quite literally that. They go through it here and there, and we didn't even see the Boston Celtics have to go through that. And when they did go through that, it was against the Dallas Mavericks, and it was only a singular game where they got blown by 40.
Yeah, they hardly sweated. That was a blowout. They threw in the towel, like, we'll come back next game. Like, that happens. Hardly sweated. If anybody in the world is willing to criticize the Boston Celtics over the last 3 years, it is us. We've been up here and said all the criticisms you could possibly imagine about the way they play, the flaws of their stars, the flaws of their coach, the flaws of their supporting cast, all of it. We have been as loud about it as possible, and they answered every single question we could have possibly had and criticism we could have possibly had. We said, listen, I don't know if they can win in the finals because they're going to play a better player who can probably out-execute them in the 4th. We were talking about Jokic. So you could argue the same thing about Luka. They out-executed the shit out of Luka. They shut them down defensively, found every single flaw of the Mavericks, preyed on it. Offensively, they played their game, didn't try to get into a pissing contest where their best players try to do too much, played their game, slapped everybody down. Like, they answered everything.
Dominance can be,
Good for them. Good for them. All right, listen. I think we did a pretty good job here. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too. People are going to get
Now-
upset about 2015 a little bit. I get that.
Mhm.
They're going to be... What else? Honestly, I don't think any of this is that controversial. I think listen, we'll find a way to get yelled at, but I don't think this is anything insane on here. There's no real hot takes, I don't think.
I think
We'll probably get yelled at for 2012, to be honest.
I don't know. I mean, they're just... Maybe. We're also going to get yelled at for 2024 because, again, fuck Boston for everybody. I understand that. I'll eat that. That's fine. Oh no, never mind. We're gonna get yelled at by putting all of the fucking hero ball guys in DNF like 2011.
Yeah.
They're gonna hate that. In
That's only
2022,
because-
they're gonna hate that.
Yeah, but that's only, we all know why they're gonna hate that. It's because it's literally the love of the game, bro. They probably cried real tears like everyone else, and they were probably in shock when these teams went
And I
and
get
did
it.
what they did.
And I get it.
Yeah,
If you want to value the individual excellence and impressiveness of a run more, by on your list, by all means, go ahead. We try to separate that as like the objective of this list to not fall into those emotional traps. But if you don't want to do that, go ahead, put them higher. I have no problem with it.
yeah. Like if this was like a tier list about like the most impressive NBA championships and shit, like all those guys
Very
in
different.
F tier would probably be in S tier, quite literally.
No
But
facts.
it's not about
Literally, yeah,
impressiveness.
literally it would. This shit would be
Yeah.
inverted. 2018 would be F. That's just not impressive at all.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Oh, there you go, man. That's the tier list. I think it's time to bring in the producer of the show. It's time for Producer Corner.
Oh,
It's nasty to kill time. Let's get nasty. What are we doing now?
nasty to kill.
Welcome to Producer Corner, y'all.
Yeah.
Dude, say that with your chest. That
I'll
sounded
say
so
this.
soft.
Exactly.
You don't talk like
Be a
that.
man.
So, welcome back.
What I'm about to say is I need to say this with my chest. Welcome to Producer Corner, y'all.
Yeah. We need a button.
As you guys know, listen, yesterday, June 19th, TD3 Productions took the day off. Okay? We honored the federal holiday. Mo, Donovan, happy Juneteenth. Okay, that's...
Wow.
I want to get that out of the way. I hope y'all celebrated.
What did you do to celebrate?
I needed to say this with my
What if
chest.
you pulled out another tier list of... Never mind.
I knew exactly what you're gonna say. Don't say it.
Isaac, you can finish that sentence. You know, I'll let you go there.
Don't say it.
I
You're the
celebrated in
worst person in
private.
the world.
Donovan, Mo, I hope y'all had a good Juneteenth. All right, we got that out of the way. Isaac, tell the podcast and the viewers how you celebrated Juneteenth.
Man, I can say something nuts.
No, you celebrated it well. Actually, not gonna lie, you had a time of your life.
But you talk about what I want you to talk about.
Yeah, you actually did.
Yeah, I just heard. I was just in the building while we tied up Drake. We hog-tied him. We threw him on the stage and we publicly stoned him.
Hog tie. Why would I hog tie?
This man went to a Kendrick
life-changing
Lamar.
experience like that. I mean, that was like a generational performance you witnessed. Like, tell us
Yeah.
everything, man. You saw LeBron.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you guys everything else. So yeah, like he's saying, I went to the Kendrick Lamar pop-out concert in LA. You know, you guys have seen it all over the internet. It was a big LA unity thing of all these LA rappers coming together and doing all the Drake diss songs at the end and everything. He performed Not Like Us 5 times in a row. I fainted 3 times.
Rappers.
Kept waking up every other. Yeah, there's a lot of non-rappers on the stage. It was glorious. LeBron was there, and so I was in the stands because I don't have $2,000 to spend on a floor seat. I wasn't going to do that. That was ridiculous. So I was up in the stands, and below me on the floor was a little VIP section. I was like right above them. So I saw LeBron back there dancing the whole time, and I like oversaw a conversation where Tyler the Creator came and was chopping it up with him at the end. It was crazy.
Where
I'm
who?
like watching Tyler
Tyler
the Creator,
Perry?
and LeBron
Perry?
talk.
I heard Tyler.
I heard
No,
Tyler
Tyler the
Perry.
Creator. Tyler the Creator.
I was about to say Tyler Perry. He's everywhere, man. What the hell?
Like, what is he doing there?
Yeah, I saw LeBron dancing the whole time, and then him talking to Tyler the Creator. I saw Onyeka Okongwu afterwards outside of the venue.
That's
Just
hilarious, bro.
posted.
Atlanta.
We run the league, man. What can I say?
No, it was great, man. It was everything you saw online, exactly how I felt in person. It was insane, crazy energy. He walked out to Euphoria, rose from the stage, and I just hear the fucking little slow beat in the background. Everyone just starts freaking out. It was great.
That was
My
amazing.
God, man.
I'm not usually like the biggest fan of like live music like that. Like I'm just an old man like that.
Yeah.
That was one of like the one things I wish like I had gone to. Like I was happy it was on like Prime and like Twitch or whatever. Like that was a great like production experience. Like I could sit on my couch and eat Chipotle and just watch history.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like scroll Twitter, like go through group chats. It was great. But I wish I was there. Like that was electric, like life changing. I can't even.
Yeah,
That's what you
Life-changing.
idiots
I
get
wish
for
I
not
did.
living in LA. Make that fucking move.
Don,
This
what do you
guy.
think?
This guy. Nah, I mean that I feel the same way. I don't like LA. Last night was the one night that I wish I was in Los Angeles. Like I wish I would have went because watching Kendrick just dance on Drake's grave for like an hour and a half and having literally, and this is also something that like I knew, but you don't realize it until like every artist just goes one after another of just how talented Los Angeles is and how much impact they have on hip hop and like on the music game in general. It just felt like a nonstop of like, oh, he's there. Oh, he's from LA. Oh, he's from LA. And it's just like, yo, all of you guys grew up within like 5 minutes of each other and it's wild.
Everyone in the middle. Steve Lacy? He's from Compton.
Exactly.
What? I had no idea he's from Compton.
So listen, don't.
I was
listen.
learning so much, man. I didn't know that like Black Hippie was like a thing. Like they were like a group.
Oh, that was amazing to see the reunion
Learned
for
that
that.
yesterday. I know Donovan was happy to tell about that.
Man, a single one came down my eye. I was like, oh my goodness.
You hear Schoolboy
Listen,
Q come out.
That's my guy. Schoolboy Q's album is like top 5 of the year for me right now. I saw somebody on Twitter say like they saw Black Hippie came out and all of a sudden a tank top and a bucket hat just flashed onto him. It was elite 2014 vibes. It was everything.
So many good tweets.
Yeah. I want to know what it would look like. I want to know what it would look like if Drake had a Drake and Friends pop out. I need the opposite reaction.
Yeah, Sexy Red out there. You got Lil
Oh
Yachty.
my God.
Ian, he bring Ian with him just because
Drewski.
it would be horrible.
Drewski with him too. That's disgusting, bro.
I didn't realize like I mean, this is what Twitter told me. I don't know if this is true, but like that whole set list top to bottom was just like
Oh shit, my camera just
I
turned
think
off.
most camera cut.
All right, well, let's finish producer corner. Most cameras off. We'll just keep going. It doesn't matter. We'll get it back on for TikTok time.
Yeah,
Y'all hear me?
I didn't realize that the whole set list was just Kendrick hate, or I mean, it was just Drake hate.
Yeah, he
I
put,
didn't realize
yeah.
that.
He put
Like
the
the past
songs in the
decade and a
beginning,
half, everything was just like a sneak diss. I never really picked up on that.
Yeah, they've been sneak dissing each other for a while, and yeah, he started with all the songs that were like open-ended aggression, but clearly there's one guy he's particularly aggressive to over the years, so it was kind of like reframing it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a coming home party, and also like let's really run it up on Drake.
Like,
but,
I've
like,
been
let's
hating
also
this guy
chill,
for like
for
8
LA.
years. I just didn't know it yet.
And I was also disappointed like whenever King's Dead came on, I really thought Future was gonna come
Oh,
out.
same. Yeah.
Like I thought I don't even know how you would have reacted. I mean, all your favorite artists were there yesterday, Isaac. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know how you
He's
would
talking about Future and Tyler, the
Like, just
Creator,
acting.
are two of my favorites.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was great. When he came out, and I was immediately just like, I looked over at my girlfriend, and I was like, ah! It was just like I was just making inaudible noises.
No, man. Last night was crazy. We've had this conversation so many times, but like it's confirmed. Like he's top 5, like top 5, top 3. You could argue for Kendrick as the GOAT. I don't even care.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore has Jay-Z, Ye, and Kendrick Lamar, and the fourth face can be whoever you want. But those three are solidified to me.
It's crazy.
But yeah, I'm glad you celebrated Juneteenth like that, man.
I was doing my part.
And that's producer corner.
I have an apology to issue.
What?
On this stream, tap in. Was it on Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern time?
It was Tuesday this
We
week.
got a
But yeah.
donation from specifically Philly Loving Ginger. I believe that's his name, right, Donovan?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's his name.
And we made a deal, and they went ahead and donated a decent amount of money. My end of the deal was getting 2,000 likes on the stream. They didn't complete that on the stream. They did it after the stream. But I am a man of the people. I don't do anything that everybody's asked me to do. But for this, I will. And this is my hairline review.
A hairline reveal.
Are you guys ready? Now, hold on. It's not
he
as
didn't give you
bad.
good background information. On the last 2 episodes, he was wearing a shiesty because he got a bad haircut. On the stream,
Yeah.
everyone was spamming, take it off, take it off, take it off. And he was like joking, like, give us enough likes, donations, maybe I'll do it. Somebody donated $150 and the comment said, take it off. And he didn't do it. He never said he would 100%, but the comments are super mad at him after the stream for not being a man of his word to the Crown Eaters. He's being nice about it and he's going to do the reveal. Y'all have too much dip on your chip. I'll say that. You guys were demanding he take it off. Like, strip for us, take it off. Like, it was so extreme. We're going to play into you guys and do stuff and like have that fun rapport. You got to relax. If he doesn't want to take it off, he's not going to take it off.
Now listen, they did get 2,000 likes on the VOD, and the last time that they did that was like 2 months ago at the start of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I am a man of my word. Dollar signs don't move me, but I am. Likes though, 2,000 likes.
Dollar
that
make
shit
him
moved
holler.
me.
All right, take
No,
that
it
hat
doesn't.
off. Go ahead and show him the terrible cut. Is the
It's
cut
gonna
still
be
terrible?
for. It's been a little bit over. Hasn't been a little. Yeah, it's actually been a little bit over a week now, and my hair's grown back. But a week is not enough for the damage to.
I saw it the day
damage,
after. They
sadly.
fucked you up. It's pretty bad. So I don't know what it looks like now.
I think you saw it the day of.
We saw it the
actually.
day
Oh
of.
yeah. Oh, you saw the day off. That shit was
Yeah.
back. It was
Yeah,
terrible.
we saw it overnight.
Yeah, they gave me.
All right, enough
quite
talk.
literally
Show the hairline. Show the
from
hairline.
Aang the
Show the hairline.
Avatar. Okay, don't show that. Take that off the screen. That's gonna get cut out. That's hilarious, but
Okay,
don't
no,
show
show us the
that.
hairline.
Show the hairline.
All right,
We got
there
TikToks to
we
get
go.
to. Wrap this shit up.
Exactly.
Are you ready?
Yeah,
Yes.
we've been ready.
Take a good look. Get your
Go ahead and look
screenshots
down.
off.
Look to the side.
All right. Whoa. Down. side, the fade is coming in pretty nicely. Beard doesn't look as bad anymore. But that was it. Now let's get to TikTok time.
It was much worse the day after. It's all good. Let's get to TikTok time. I'm tired. Let's go.
Most people are
Finally.
just going to see a cut. It's going to look normal then. But trust me, the day of, that bitch was horrendous.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I couldn't even be a good friend. You'd be like, it's not that bad. It was that bad.
It was awful.
I would have worn Shiesty too. But on to the actual topic of TikTok time, which you guys are here for. Today we are starting with the draft. And that draft is going to be us drafting the most random NBA lineups possible.
Let's go.
We'll see what this comes to, but we're going to draft 1 through 5, point guard through center, of the most random players you could possibly think of. It should be good. Some deep cuts. Remind you of your childhood.
Let's roll.
Of course, I get the number 1 overall pick this draft.
One that doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, exactly.
So real simple. Mo, where are we going first? Let's draft the most random NBA players possible.
All right, when I think of random, someone who happens to appear in my childhood for literally no reason at all, I think of Kay Felder. Why are you
Hey,
here?
Feldman, nice. I don't remember what team he played for.
He played for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it was around the time when Isaiah Thomas was snapping, and Kay Felder was like a 5'11", 5'10" demon, and people thought they were getting some.
Feldman.
Shout out to Kay Felder, man.
Okay. All right.
Actually, no,
good
let's
pick.
not. Nikhil doesn't know these players. I don't even want you to look it up, Nikhil. I want you to just spell it off of gut instinct and see what happens. No, trust me, do it. That's funnier. Well, listen, no, not holding it against you. These are randoms on purpose. Don't Google it. Just spell it.
I'm
based on
finna
what
be
you
an
think.
asshole now. Let's do it.
No, for real, don't Google it, Nikhil. Just play into it. Don, what's the second pick?
Now you set him up. Listen.
Good.
First pick
Okay,
overall.
Felder. Okay, he did get it right. I thought you said Feldman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. First pick. Give me Pepe Sanchez. My point guard.
TD3 legend.
The legend lives.
TD3 legend. Gotta have Pepe Sanchez running my team. I need it.
I love that. Damn, I can't beat that. You just won the draft.
Come on.
My first pick and my power forward. Give me Namansa Bielitsa.
Woo! Bielitsa. That's good.
Stretch
Oh, no,
four
Nikhil's-
legend. Yeah, spell it out.
That is disgusting.
All right, bro.
Hey, you tried. Listen,
This is terrible.
he had some years. I don't know how many casual fans remember those years, but those years were had.
Man, him on the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, he put in the
Special.
work. He was a Lakers trade target for like 2 straight deadlines.
It's the most random.
They never got
work,
him.
I love it.
All right, run it back.
Oh, I forgot. Back-to-back picks.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let's double up, build my front court. Give me Frank the Tank Kaminsky at my center.
Okay.
March Madness
Frank
legend.
The Tank is nice. Frank the
Okay.
Tank is nice. I like that.
I like that. All right, with my 2 guard. I don't know why. Listen, I love watching this guy's highlights. They bring me immense joy. I want Ben Gordon as my shooting guard.
This is the second time you've mentioned Ben Gordon.
That's
in the
your
draft.
guy, dude.
I want you to know you're
listen,
nasty.
bro, Ben Gordon is fire. 3 levels.
That is
Shout
your
out
guy
Ben
for
Gordon.
no
You
reason.
love Ben Gordon.
Okay, so
I bet
that
you didn't
means-
think Ben Gordon would appear in this TikTok. He's done it twice.
All right, that lands me right back at the spot. So at my 4, go ahead and give me Luka Mbamute.
Luka Mbamute, I love it. He was so good.
Classic role
Mbamute.
player,
That's how you
bro.
say it, Nikhil.
Luke is his first name.
Luke
Luke
Mbamute.
Mbamute.
That's the last time we're going to spell it.
Luka Mbamute.
That's crazy.
This is awful. this is bad. This is bad.
Mo, what's next?
We just slandering
All right, and
foreign
right after
names,
that-
and I hate this.
Right after that,
This was supposed
at
to
my
happen.
3, give me Al-Farouq Aminu.
He's just trolling him. He's getting nasty.
You're actually a demon, Mo, because Al-Farouq Aminu was my next pick. I was gonna pick Al, as my
He
small
was
forward.
always so tall and so theoretically good and just tall.
All right.
Man.
At my power forward, listen, this guy is constantly in my brain because I don't know how he made the NBA with his physical profile. Give me DeJuan Blair, Mr. No ACLs.
What? This is a
DeJuan
throwback
Blair.
from hell.
DeJuan Blair.
Mr. No MCLs.
That was like the talking
is
point on every broadcast, on every Spurs. They're like, he's 6'7". He doesn't have any ACLs. He can't tear it. He's actually set up for success.
What a scouting
my
report.
God.
No knees.
That is crazy.
All right, my next picks. At my point guard, give me another college legend. Give me Jimmer Fredette.
Listen,
China
Random
legend,
memories.
college legend.
China legend.
Very forgettable in the NBA.
he's Jordan over there. He's better than Michael Jordan in China.
Facts. He's a
Him in
Messi
the
of Chinese
3v3
basketball.
league. On God, bro.
He's a demon.
On God.
And then at my small forward, give me Luke Babbitt. You may not have heard of him. I may not either, but I played 2K my
Look.
team, and he had a silver card in 2K15 that was a bucket. He never missed.
Him and Josh McRoberts back in the day, they don't know about
Buckets. You need a sharpshooter for the low in 2K15? He got you.
I like that. I like that a lot. All right, Nikhil, listen, I'm sorry. I've been trying to be nice to you with some of these names. This one is not that great. At my center, I'm going with another San Antonio Spur. Give me Rasho Nesterovic.
that. Oh, hell no.
That's a name. I don't even know how to spell that.
It's actually quite what you think. It's not as, the spelling isn't as foreign as what you think it would be.
Rasha Nesterovic. Why did we all start picking foreign names to fuck them? That wasn't even the point.
I mean, listen, I had these guys on my list, so.
This is
Bo, who's
disgusting,
next?
bro. All right, so at my 2, go ahead and give me Lakers legend Sekou Doumbouya. Let's get real over here. Let's get former lottery pick real right here, bro.
Pistons draft legend. I forgot he was a
agree.
Laker. I don't know if he touched the court.
It was the most random Laker ever, bro. All right, and then at my 5, let's stick with the Lakers. Go ahead and give me Yi Jianlian.
All right, now you know good and well that Nikhil has no chance of spelling that correctly.
He spelled it. Well,
I'm not gonna lie. Who the fuck is that?
He is cooking. You actually spelled it right. His last name is one word.
I'm not
Last
gonna
name is one word. You actually cooked, Nikhil.
I don't know who that is. I'm not gonna lie.
He was a stretch 5. He was a
is
stretch
actually
5. What you mean? You don't know about
That's
Yi
the most
Jianlian?
random player you could have picked. I've never heard of him.
Bro, he's a demon, bro. He was a demon. I'm not gonna lie. He came clutch as a 72 overall back in the rebuilding days.
All right. My last pick. I need some more shooting. Listen, this guy played on the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron right before he left. Give me Anthony Parker.
Who? What?
See,
Damn.
you don't know
what?
about Anthony Parker. You don't know. It's okay.
I know about Anthony Morrow, but Anthony Parker?
I'm gonna name somebody that you
Damn.
guys probably know, but you haven't thought about in a minute. Give me Marco Bellinelli.
Mm.
76
We just talked
legend.
about Marco.
Yeah, that was a coincidence. I had it written down already. We just happened to mention him a little bit ago.
Damn.
Listen.
Okay.
When Ben Simmons was running up and down, you had JJ Reddick in one corner, Marco Bellinelli in the other corner. That was
Unstoppable.
a problem. A problem.
Unstoppable. Yeah.
You
I'm
had
not
Dario
gonna
Saric
lie.
on the back end. Problem.
I ain't
I
gonna
remember
lie.
2018 like it was
Initially,
yesterday.
coming into this draft, I was gonna pick straight African players. And then I figured that, you know what, I want to go international a little bit. And so I wanted to pick Yi Jianlian.
I
And
picked
that
all my
busted
pasty
everything
princes.
for me.
Okay. All right. You got to say the
What?
guy's name right. You got to say his name right.
Do you know how to say his name right?
No, I don't know who that is.
Then
But
how do you
if
know
that's
I'm
your,
saying his name wrong?
because you said it differently than how you said it before.
No, I didn't. I said it the exact same way. Run it back, audio listeners.
I legit don't know who that is. I gotta look it up. Did you Google the most random players of all time?
No. I actually
Chinese
I don't say
former
I know
basketball
him as
player.
if he's my homie. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
He
who
was
the
strip
fuck
five, bro.
this is. He looks tall. How tall is he? He's a 7-footer.
He's like 6'11" or something like that. So at
Been
my
5 years in
starting,
the NBA.
yeah, he
What
was a great
cut.
player.
Is this the new Pepe Sanchez?
Nah, don't disrespect him like that. He was
Wait,
actually
he was
a
kind of
decent
hooping
player.
though.
He was exactly. I'm surprised you guys don't know about him.
Wait, 8 and 5.
I'm surprised I don't either.
8 and 5 is kind of nasty.
He was
averaged
before his
12 and
time.
7
Genuinely
one year
speaking,
for the New Jersey Nets.
he was before his time.
He shot 40%
Put him
from
in
the
the
field
league
as a
today?
7-footer, so that's not great.
Yeah, it's not. But
All
8
right,
and
all right.
5.
That's but that's because of his shot diet back then.
I mean, but like,
chairman.
listen, 8 and 5 on 40% from the field. Austin Rivers did that and had himself a career. So like, he really was ahead of his time. That's crazy. He could have stayed in the league.
Maybe it's bad ball knowledge for me not to know him, but I'm glad I just found out about him.
Great player, bro. I need his jersey one day.
Next TikTok we're going to do. Now, we've been doing a thing lately where one of us ranks something 1 to 10, the others react. You guys seem to like it a lot. So we're going to do it today, but with a little bit of a remix. I am going to redraft the 2023 NBA draft 1 year later with you two reacting to my picks.
Okay.
Hot
So in a
seat,
normal
let's do
top
it.
10 ranking, we'd start from 10, build up to 1, and kind of do it that way as like a... But with the draft, that doesn't make much sense because I'm going to focus on the actual team and what they would redo a year later because it's so fresh that I can focus on the team and not just like a ranking of players. So we're
Okay.
start at 1.
Okay.
So real simple. This is my 2023 NBA redraft. You guys let me know what you think.
All
Number
right.
1 overall.
Let's see.
Surprise, surprise. We still got Victor Wembanyama. We can move on.
I'm glad we all
And
agree.
number 2,
Good
we
pick.
still got Brandon Miller. Surprise, surprise.
Also,
Would you guys change
good
this?
pick.
This video starts at the 3rd overall pick, potentially.
And it does, because at number 3, we have Amen Thompson. For the Trailblazers, still need a point guard of the future. I don't have as much faith in Scoot. I still have some faith, but I think Amen is going to be the true athletic point guard that they thought they were getting out of Scoot.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm with you.
Scoots-
I'm all in on Amen. So
yeah.
I'm good with him.
The
going
likelihood of Scoot's jump shot like coming around is very high, more higher than Amen's in my opinion. But how much of an impact can he make with his scoring compared to Amen in his all-around game?
Exactly. Amen might never be a good
That's the
shooter, but I
difference.
know he'll be an elite defender, an elite athlete, an elite rebounder, all these things that are going to provide value. And the
He
shooting might come
also
around.
an
We'll see.
elite playmaker as well.
Yeah, and a great passer. But at number 4 at the Rockets, listen, they missed out on Amen. This time they get Scoot Henderson. I'm not selling
Okay,
all my
yeah.
Scoot stock. I still think he'll be good, but I would swap that order to the point guards.
Yeah, that makes sense. The Rockets are still like, listen, they got Fred VanVleet, but obviously he's a bridge player, right? He's not one of their core
Exactly.
pieces for their future. And you still have to get a guard to set up Jalen Green to play with Sengun, Jabari Smith, all that. I like this pick at 4.
Exactly.
Okay.
They have enough depth that they don't need Scoot to be a star right away. They can give him time to develop while the pressure isn't on him at all.
Okay, I think that's a decent spot for him at 4.
That's just how they're doing them in. They're giving them time.
Exactly. Yeah, we're just swapping these two guys. Next up, at 5, the Pistons are taking Derek Lively. Listen, Jalen Duren is a very interesting player, not a good defender. Derek Lively is too good, too fast to pass up on. He can be a generational center that can be their building block of their defense next to Cade.
See, I like Derek Lively a lot. I want to see what he would look like next to Cade Cunningham
Luka?
and not Luka, right?
Yeah.
It's a very different situation getting lobs
sure.
from one of the best passers in the league to one of the worst organizations in the league.
For sure, but nobody else below him has really stood out as a star yet, so I think he's earned this spot as being immediately effective on defense and offense.
I think if he was on the Detroit Pistons, he would be clearly like the best center on that team, and he would be the only one giving them a pulse of life
For
because
sure,
of
listen,
his
Jalen Duren is
enthusiasm
awesome in
and shit.
theory until you watch him play help side defense, and you're like, oh god.
Yeah, exactly. You see the rebounds, you see the points that he gets from those easy putbacks and stuff like that, and you're like, oh my god, is this
The muscles are
2015
awesome.
Andre
The
Drummond?
pick and roll defense is not. At number 6, for the Orlando Magic, they're going with Cason Wallace. Before they picked Anthony Black to be essentially a 3-and-D guard that can fit next to next to their big forwards. Enter Casey Wallace, who can do the exact same things, and I think is more talented.
I still don't understand how he slid all the way back and OKC was able to grab him. But him being in Orlando is quite literally like what they need. Someone
Exactly.
who
I don't
can
know how it happened
shoot,
either, but they're fixing
obviously,
that shit right now.
and still has straps on the defensive end as well.
Exactly. Him and Jalen
Clamps.
Suggs together is a lethal duo.
I like it.
At number 7, the Wizards, they're still taking Bilal Coulibaly. I don't think this changes. He keeps growing, keeps getting more enticing as an athlete. If they liked him before, they like him now.
I don't know why I never
Okay.
saw this. This is French Earl sweatshirt.
It's crazy.
What?
Random tidbit. Shout out you. Bilal, you got a celebrity look like. There you go.
That's all I
At
see.
number 8, we're going to Asar Thompson. He can't fall that much lower, right? They picked Jarris Walker originally because they need a big forward that can really bolster their defense for years to come. Enter Asar Thompson, who's probably going to be one of the best perimeter defenders in the league one day. We just got to see if the shot comes around, but I'm willing to take that bet for the Pacers.
If you help out Tyrese Halliburton and say, listen, I know you're a cone, so we're going to go get 2 cones or 2. Dang, I messed that up completely. In my head, I was like, dang, that's a bar, but I messed it up. Anyways, Tyrese Halliburton, bad defender. Asar Thompson, good defender. They need him. So yes, I like this pick.
Yeah.
Dang, I jacked that up. I'm so mad. Dang.
He thought he had a moment. He thought he had
I'm
TikTok
so-
legend status.
I'm so mad. That's awful. I feel like Charles Barkley.
If y'all are still here, comment L bars. I want to see L bars
Don
in the
has
chat.
great one-liners, man.
Yeah, they love your one-liners, and they always comment that like, "Damn, Donovan got the best one-liners."
I tried.
Not everybody can hit every shot they take.
I'm on Tatum time.
He still has an opportunity to go ahead and do so. We have more TikTok time in store.
And next up pick after Asar at number 9. Listen, the Jazz picked Hendricks the first time because they wanted a wing. Let's pick the wing that shouldn't have fell so far in the first place. Cam Whitmore to the Utah Jazz.
Yes.
This is 110% right. He would be a monster. There's quite literally no one in his way. In Utah, he would develop so perfectly alongside Lowry.
Exactly. The Utah Jazz are really good at utilizing downhill drivers with their spacing. He'd fit perfectly next to Lowry with his speed.
I 110% agree.
It's insane he
Makes
fell so far, man. Next up, at number 10, the Mavericks. They miss out on Derek Lively, so they get Jarris Walker, who is somebody who went a little bit higher before. Didn't show a lot his rookie year because they didn't need him in the rotation, but he lit up the G League. He would be PJ Washington for them, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so much unseen with his game, but there's so much unseen with his game. They covered up so much, but he has a lot of wiggle, can shoot. He's obviously lengthy as shit. I ain't gonna lie, PJ Washington may be an okay comparison. Or I would say like a fucking Jeremy Grant with how he moves sometimes.
He just has so much untapped potential that we're just waiting for the Pacers to give him his chance.
Man, imagine if they drafted the guy that they needed, still had the assets, could go out and make another move.
Exactly.
Listen, I might actually believe in Dallas next year.
All right.
All right, next slide to kill. Let's look at the full list. So, to finish it out, where'd it go? There you go. So we have Wemby, Brandon Miller, Amen Thompson, Scoot Henderson, Derek Lively is the top 5. We all good there?
Yeah.
I think
I
I'm
like
good.
it.
I question if Houston still should take Scoot, but I don't know if there's necessarily a better option there for them and
Exactly,
how their
right?
roster
So,
is constructed.
You can not love Scoot all you want, but they don't need Derek Lively. Obviously, they got Sengun. Everybody else below them hasn't proved to be some crazy star either way, so you might as well take the chance on Scoot when everybody thought he was a prospect beforehand. There's still a chance he lives up to that.
Who did Orlando take again?
Case and Wallace.
Yeah. You can't take Case and Wallace and put him alongside Jalen Green. You need some creation. So Scoot
exactly.
definitely gets picked up by them.
And if you want to put Cam Whitmore above Asar, I understand that, but I think Asar would look a lot better on a team that doesn't have 5 non-shooters at once. Doesn't have Montrezl Williams terrorizing
that
them
would
with Killian
be
Hayes.
quite literally hell, bro. Oh my god.
I wish I was
Honestly,
Miles
Asar,
Williams right now.
maybe Asar should be higher. I don't know. Maybe I moved him a little too far down.
No, I think Asar landed in the right space because what is Washington gonna do with him? They need someone with more upside, and I guess Bilal has that because he's an enigma across all ends. And
Bro, he's 6'9"
provides
now.
great
He keeps
defense
growing. He's
already.
huge now. If y'all
I
haven't
know.
seen him.
That's why I'm just like he's such a huge question mark. In
How tall was he
general,
coming
and
out?
He already has this.
He was 6'7" when
I
he
think it
got
was like
drafted. He's 6'9" now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
There's my top 10. There you guys go. Interesting
list.
draft. Next thing
Good
we're going to do. We're going to keep on the topic of draft. Mo, I believe you have some NBA draft comparisons to talk about.
Yes. It's actually been a while since we did this. So, it's draft season right now. I believe the draft is like less than 10 days away. It's like 6 days away or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And through this season, everyone likes to go ahead and bring up their draft comparisons and talk about the up and coming guys or guys from the past. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to look at some guys that have been drafted in the past few years and look back at their draft comparisons and see if these scouts and analysts actually got them right.
Yeah, so we're going to tell you if you think this comparison was right or wrong looking back.
Exactly. So, with that being said, did this NBA player live up to their draft comparison?
Let's get it.
First up, we got Victor Wembanyama.
What's the draft comparison?
And who was the comparison?
KD.
Oh, draft comparison is KD and Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think he did. He has a defensive AD. And listen, he's not KD offensively, but you see the shades, especially for a big man. I think this is pretty accurate.
Yeah, there's certain times where you can see him getting into his pull-up three where it's like, yeah, there's only one other person who can move like that, and that's Kevin Durant. So on that front, I like that. And then when we talk about just being elite defensively, listen, by the end of next year, is Wemby going to be better than AD on defense? I don't know.
I think he might be.
I don't know. I don't know.
not ridiculous to
Wemby's
say.
probably
We'll
going
have
to
a
be better than
conversation in
everyone at
12
defense
months.
next season.
That's not ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous to say that. at
Defensive
all.
player of the year in the second year? Did we just call that out? Oop.
Either way, he lived up to this.
Thunder.
I think he's going to be better than anybody ever imagined.
God damn. That's just a
Avatar.
crazy ass comparison in general. Not all
The fact that you can live up to these two Hall of Famers is insane.
Exactly. Like we always see KD comparisons like on a consistent basis just because you're skinny. Like the last time someone got compared to him is like, I don't know, Brandon Ingram or something like that. And
Yeah.
we see AD comparisons like on the regular. The last player who got compared to AD was Evan Mobley. And I mean, I guess, but that's only defensive talks.
Yeah.
This dude right here lives up to it on both ends.
The fact that you can play 70 games and I can immediately be like, oh yeah, I do see some Kevin Durant and I do see some Anthony Davis. Like that's absurd.
Yeah, this league is cooked. So we can move on to the next player. Next, we got Jason Tatum being compared to Harrison Barnes and Danny Granger.
Bro, everybody slept on Jason Tatum coming into this draft. He was an afterthought after Markelle
Yeah.
Fultz and Lonzo Ball. It's so crazy. Of course he lived up to this.
Yeah, he's surprised him. Now listen, prime Danny Granger is a problem, but Jason Tatum is
Yes,
also a
I
problem.
was waiting for you to say that.
Listen,
Shout out, but he lived
exactly,
up to it.
exactly. Listen, we all like to pretend that Danny Granger was unstoppable, right? He's okay, right? Jason Tatum is one of the 10 best players in the league right now. He's better
Listen,
than
if
both
you
of
put
these two guys
2013 Danny
combined.
Granger on this Celtics team, could he have won the championship?
All right, that's where we stop right there.
I mean, that's
I
a fair
don't know
point.
that he
No.
couldn't.
That's a fair point.
Prime Danny Granger
We'll have to talk about that next week.
before all the injuries. Oh, that's a real conversation right
We want to
now.
talk about rim pressure.
Exactly.
All right. Going number 3 is sick, man. But next up, we got Larry Markkinen to Ryan Anderson and Dirk Nowitzki.
Well,
Okay, so
Similar
they
to-
exactly. So
He's like
they,
a good median between
they cast
the
a
two.
wide net here. They're like, he's either a very average white shooter or a very legendary white shooter. We're bound to be right somewhere in the middle, and they nailed it.
exactly. They said white,
Hey.
foreign. That's you. Like it's,
It's the
It
laziest
doesn't-
comparison on earth. You can look at any tall European player and be like, that's Dirk. And this time, I guess.
Yeah.
fine.
Shout out Ryan
Like,
Anderson.
yeah, fine.
Ryan Anderson would eat in today's league, man. Him
All-
back
all
when he was
three
in
of
the
them can
Orange
shoot.
Pelican.
He didn't play that long ago.
It feels like a little longer. I ain't gonna lie to you. Ryan Anderson, man.
He was on that
Shout out to you.
2018 Rockets team, I think.
No
But that
way. Was he?
Yeah, but that was old Ryan Anderson. I see what Mo's saying.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I mean, 2016, 2017, he was still contributing a lot. But yeah, he was getting past his age a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It actually feels like I remember that because look at the jersey update with him.
Oh yeah, he's
That's
got
so
Rocket
crazy,
Mortgage
bro.
on his jersey.
Yeah, damn, that's so crazy.
He might have been kicking around for longer than we remember. That's crazy.
Damn,
Wow.
Ryan Anderson. He could have
Was
been
he there
drafted, bro,
last
and we
year?
would have been like, "What the fuck?" He
When
literally
did
could've
Ryan
been in
Anderson
our
retire?
draft.
Let me look that up. What
He
was his
kicking
last
till
year? In the league?
2021.
He probably didn't retire. Just no one.
Yeah,
probably
he just
picked him
stopped
up
playing.
after that.
Ryan Anderson's
Yeah.
last year was 2019-2020. Bubble year.
Okay, that makes sense.
He only played 2 games. So that's crazy.
Nice.
Oh, that's interesting. All right. Next player, we got Kyrie Irving to Chris Paul.
This was his comparison coming in.
That was his lone comparison coming
From
in, bro.
who?
A lot of people didn't know.
People do forget
what
that young
the
Chris
fuck
Paul
to
was
do.
very shifty. So I guess
Exactly.
I understand that.
Exactly. Like Chris Paul over the last like 9-10 years. Okay, that will complete. You'll look at this comparison. You'll be like, "What the fuck is this?" But look at that year that he almost won MVP. You see all
No, for
those
sure.
quick
Young fans
crosses in that
today
first
think
step.
of Chris Paul as geriatric and this like whiner. They don't realize that he was actually like incredibly fast and athletic as a young guy. Isn't the worst comparison in the world.
Nah, he didn't live up. I mean, Chris Paul is like one of the greatest point guards of all
Yeah.
time in like a basketball sense and in if you have to win one game, who do you want leading your team? I don't think Kyrie has matched him on either one of those levels.
No, definitely not. But stylistically, I get it. But no, young people get mad at us when we say prime Chris Paul smokes Kyrie, but he smokes Kyrie.
Yeah, I don't think they understand how many aspects of the game that Chris Paul has mastered compared to Kyrie. The only aspect of the game that Kyrie has mastered is like highlight tapes and being clutch, I guess.
Yeah, making
Finishing.
really hard shots instead of getting easy ones.
Still valuable.
Somebody
No,
got
still
to
a great player. It's a great player, fantastic player. It's not Chris Paul.
He's not.
Sadly, you're right. Pain.
He's not. So no, he did not. He did not live up to this
All right, what's
comparison.
the next one?
Next up, we got Evan Mobley to Chris Bosh.
I forgot people were saying this. People really thought Evan Mobley was going to be a shooter. Still might be. You know, the book's not done, but it's not looking great for that comparison at all.
Listen, a couple
That
years
comparison
later,
is cooked.
exactly. A couple years later, Mo, who were they comparing Evan Mobley to? You said it earlier. this year.
Now they're comparing him to Derek Favors. Tragic.
Tragic.
How the mighty have fallen. Now listen,
Wow.
I see it, the length, the body type, I understand it. Defensively, he's even better than Chris Bosh. I get it. But offensively, it just hasn't worked out that way at all. No, he didn't live up to it.
We
It's
just
so
keep
far
doing this
off.
thing where I understand some people look like former players. You say tall, skinny guy. He's Chris Bosh. I get it, but it's kind of lazy. He's not like that. Offensively.
Nah.
That's hilarious, man. Y'all are gonna absolutely hate.
I'm not
and be
selling my
shocked
stock
at
yet,
the
though. He
next
still
one.
has a chance to develop. I'm not done with Evan Mobley.
Now
Listen,
him
he
as a
was-
lone center,
he
we
was
can have
popping
completely
off.
different conversations.
He was popping off for 16 points in the playoffs. He's a bucket.
All right.
He was
I will
getting
never
there.
forget that 23-point game to try against the Boston Celtics earlier this year.
Nah,
Evan
man, he
Mobley.
was shooting. Sniper. Shooting
The
3
land
threes a
remembers.
game.
That hates Evan Mobley.
That's hilarious. All right. Next
Yeah.
player. We have Giannis Antetokounmpo to Evan Turner. People back then didn't know what the fuck to do about
I'm
him
not
at
gonna
all.
lie.
They said,
I'm not
tall,
gonna lie.
6'9",
The
you
way
can
Evan
dribble a
Turner
little
impacts the
bit.
game with his passing from a point forward perspective isn't something that Giannis has really matched yet to this point of his career. So I'm not gonna jump the gun and say Giannis lives up to this yet. I don't think so.
Evan Turner also has things in his game and in his portfolio that Giannis doesn't. So like Evan Turner has a podcast. Giannis doesn't.
Exactly.
You know? So
Giannis has no multimedia experience.
Yeah, I don't. How financially literate is Giannis compared to Evan Turner? I don't know, right? So we're just gonna have to go. I think Evan Turner still has a couple legs up on Giannis, but listen, if he keeps working, he's clearly shown that he can improve quickly. But
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Quit the yap. I'm not buying it until he shines at the highest level of iHeartRadio podcasting.
Yeah, we're still about like a year away. He's a year away from being a year away. In my opinion.
Facts.
A year
A
away
project
from
player
being
at
a year
best.
away.
Yeah.
The internet tomatoes are being launched at you guys' face right now.
Bobbing and weaving.
That's absolutely disgusting, bro.
Stick and weave.
Next comparison. We got Josh Giddey to Ricky Rubio and Kyle Anderson.
Yeah, you just took
You
the
see
worst
it.
elements of both their games. You took Kyle Anderson's speed, Ricky Rubio's shooting, Ricky Rubio's defense, and just combine it into an amalgamation of uselessness, and we got it.
What? Are you discounting Giddey's passing?
Yes.
Bro, today I saw a 4-minute highlight tape of Josh Giddey's
Oh!
worst passes of the year. It was awful. It was crazy. He stands at the 3-point line staring down the cutter pass, and everybody sees it every single time.
Wow. Wow.
It's hard for your
Wow.
passing to be relevant when your man is standing in the paint looking at the guy you're looking at. Like, if you're not a scoring threat, your passing's irrelevant.
His defenders are
Yeah.
like, there, right there. Okay, I got you. I'll go over there. I'll go over there.
Damn. This is pretty on the money, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I always
Scouts
think
are
back to
picking
that
up this
one
shit.
YouTube highlight. I always think back to that one
The
YouTube,
YouTube
scouting video.
graphic.
This is all the weaknesses, and it's just like a million of them.
Just basketball. Yeah, that was hoop intellect. Shout out to him.
Oh, that's what like. I love his videos. He
Yeah.
gives me so much of my draft insight.
Yeah, I mean, he's feeding the nation, bro. I'm not gonna lie. But he was in his bag when it comes to this shit because it was on the money. Still to this day. That sucks. All right, next comparison. We got Paolo Banchero to Blake Griffin.
TBD, but it's looking good for sure.
Yeah, if you
Now-
want to go like older Blake, yeah,
Mhm.
because obviously like
Exactly.
the athleticism isn't there. But once you get to like late Clippers, early Pistons, Blake, the smoothness of the game, the ability to shoot, pass, right, to handle the ball, bring up in transition, that's still there. So I can kind of see that.
That was the
I
best
actually see that
version
a
of
lot.
Blake
I see a
Griffin
lot
right
of
there,
2018
to be
Blake.
honest.
Paolo has to get
Yeah.
better at getting to the rim consistently and not studying for as many jumpers. But the way he moves the ball in his hands as a passer and a scorer looks a lot like Pistons Blake.
Paolo looks so young in this picture. It's crazy.
I mean, he is young.
That's just how he
No,
looks
but
now.
like-
He is young.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing
You
him
think
next
he's
to old man
26?
Blake Griffin, so it looks way different.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah,
he
exactly.
looks like a child. It's crazy.
No, this is a great
That's
comparison.
hilarious.
He's living up to it day by day.
I agree. All right. Next comparison. We got Jonathan Kuminga to Pascal Siakam and Jaylen Brown.
See, this is
I mean,
unfair to Kuminga. They listed the two best development stories in modern NBA history. Guys who went from being bad at everything but long to being really good. How is Kuminga going to live up to that unless he's also one of the best development stories in NBA history? It's not fair to him.
Developing under Steve Kerr? That's a fake scenario.
Challenge level impossible.
Exactly. Can never happen.
Nah,
This is an L.
failed.
I don't blame you,
He
Kuminga. It
failed.
sets you up for failure.
He failed.
He did make a leap this past year when he was actually given
He
a
made a
real
hop.
opportunity. But what else do you expect out of him, you know? Like, there's only so much someone like Kuminga can do.
You can watch Klay Thompson miss jumpers.
He can't do a lot, and that's a problem.
Tragic.
L.
All right, we got one more comparison. It's Nikola Jokic to Boris Diaw. That's all these fucking scouts had in their bag. Couldn't decipher shit else about his game.
Yeah, like if you gave Boris Diaw super soldier serum, yeah, like he could beat Nikola Jokic. I don't
He
hate that.
super Care Bear syndrome. I don't know if Nikola Jokic is built like a super soldier.
I mean, you
Kinda built
understand.
like
terms
Barney.
of-
You know what I
Kind of
meant.
built like
The-
Barney.
If you
in terms
turn
of the
Boris Diaw's
roundness-
attributes up 1,000, yeah, it could be Jokic.
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, you make him a 99 overall or try to match him with Nikola Jokic's attributes on 2K. They're putting up the same exact stat line for sure. Maybe a little bit less rebounds for Boris because he doesn't have those physical attributes. But for sure, they're putting up like
Low key, we can laugh at this because Nikola Jokic became an MVP. But coming in and projecting him to be this passing big man that can do a little bit in the short roll and all this stuff, it wasn't a bad comparison.
Yeah,
it was literally on the money. I agree.
Yeah, this scout understood Nikola Jokic's game better than most of the NBA.
Yeah, they just didn't see it being this
And how
dominant.
could they?
At
How
this
could they see
scale.
him being a top 5 offensive player of all time at his peak? How could they see this happening?
Yeah,
How
while
could they
being
see
built
modern
like
day Larry
Patrick
Bird come
Starr?
to fruition?
Yeah, while being built like Patrick Starr, no one sees that shit, bro. No one foreseen that shit. No, that still hasn't been seen other than this case right here.
I'm gonna give this a W.
I like
Wow.
this.
Yeah, shout out to him. He was in his bag. Those scouts are in his
We
bag,
respect
man.
Boris
That was the
Diaw
last
over
one.
Fact.
Great role player, man. I miss his game. We need more Boris Diaw in the league today.
We always need more Boris Diaz. I love that. Next thing we're gonna do. Let's get ready to slander some people. I think
Slander.
Oh shit.
Oh, let me sit
a little
up.
bit. We're getting ready to some interesting debates that will lead to slander because I know who you are as a person and how you operate. I'm gonna name 2 NBA duos, and I want you to let me know which one is better, old or new.
Okay,
All right.
First off,
I'm awake.
Pierce and Garnett versus Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Pierce and Garnett for sure.
Pierce and Garnett.
I don't even think about that twice, bro. I don't even think about that twice. Paul Pierce is very underrated, and I think at this point in time, too, he was better than Jaylen Brown. And there could be arguments for him being better than Jason Tatum. I would make those arguments for sure. And Kevin Garnett's an all-time player.
Yeah, I just
Tier
don't
above
think.
him.
Yeah, I just don't think that Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum have reached the heights that Kevin Garnett has, and so I'm gonna side with them.
Even in a Celtics uniform?
Yeah,
Because it's not like Kevin Garnett had a ton of prime years in the Celtics.
no, but even if you go like at their peak, like '08, I'll still take KG and Paul Pierce.
Absolutely. Paul Pierce is
No
special,
love for the
man.
19-year-old demon. Unbelievable. Next one.
Nope.
Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook versus Luka and Kyrie.
It may be throwback memories kicking my ass, but I'm going KD and Russ. They made the finals together just like Luka and Kyrie, and they actually didn't get their backs blown out.
They both lost in 5, didn't they?
They did both lose in
I
5,
thought it was
but I
in
am
6.
going KD and Russ because when they were together, both of them were like all NBA talent. Whereas Kyrie, listen, he's still great, right? He can still rise to that occasion, but as we've seen, the inconsistencies are starting to show. And Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant were disgusting on a night in, night out basis. You're not really there with Kyrie every night like that.
Yeah. It's hard because they were better apart. Like, they were MVPs apart. As together, they're obviously still great, but it's hard to, separate that.
Yeah. But it's still like two first and second team all NBA type players on the same team at the same time.
Yeah, end of the day, 2 of the best players in the world in the different eras. One sidekick's a lot better than the other, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Old is
Look at
up
Russ's
2-0.
legacy aging like a wine right now. That's crazy. This is like the first positive light we've talked about him.
Facts.
Old is up 2-0. Let's go.
Okay. Next up,
Can we make it 2-1?
we got this one's cheating a little bit because one's not current anymore. But Shaq and Kobe versus KD and Steph Curry.
Tie. we're at 2-0 and 1.
This is hard.
2 of the top 3 duos of all time. Like, this is tough.
This is so hard.
You know what? I'm gonna
So
go
who's
Shaq
the
and
best
Kobe.
player here, Donovan? Who's the best player here?
I would say Shaq. It's either Shaq or Steph, either one of them. But I'm going with Shaq and Kobe because even as great as Steph and KD are, and we're gonna play the if game, they have another all-time defender and like great facilitator and playmaker in Draymond alongside them. They have a Klay Thompson alongside them. It was Shaq, Kobe, and Robert Ory. It was Shaq, Kobe, and Derek Fisher. And these guys were still able to go in three-peat. And we saw earlier, I read the stats off earlier, Shaq in the finals was 38-17. Like, Shaq at his
that's
peak
ridiculous.
it's a level of dominance that I don't think either of the other two have reached. So I'm going to go Shaq and Kobe.
That's fire. I think the 17 Warriors are better than the 01 Lakers as
That's
a team, but as a duo, I think you can go towards the Lakers guys.
In the finals back in 2017, their first real year as a duo, KD put up like 35. Disgustingly
LeBron,
efficient
too.
35 at that point, too. Yeah.
Well,
so
I don't
it's
know.
like-
And guess what? Shaq averaged more. It's like it's like the levels that you think, the levels that KD has reached, the levels that Steph has reached. It still is like crazy just how high Shaq could have gone. And Kobe's also top 5 player in the world at the time too. So
Yeah. Shaq's
kinda gotta
slightly
go with
better
that.
than Curry, and Kobe's a little bit better than KD. They just edge him out in both of them.
Yeah.
You really think
There
that
we go.
version
Old
of
is up
Kobe's
3.
better than
Oh,
KD?
we've never had this much old victory before.
We have
Wait, you really think that version of Kobe was better than this version of KD?
Oh, that's a good point.
I disagree with that right there.
Oh, that's a good
I
point.
disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Oh, you're
for
right.
sure.
You're right. This is young Kobe
That's
versus
why it's like
peak KD. Okay, yeah, maybe that swings things a little bit. I don't know.
I mean, but you could go like, even if you're going like 01, 02 Kobe, you can make an argument.
Nah.
You can-
17
you
can-
KD,
for a
2-8
second.
demon.
You can have a conversation about it.
Sure.
a short one though.
Sure, yeah, I get it. It's not peak of his powers, Kobe yet.
This is close.
can't
I
get
still
that
don't
far.
have an answer, bro.
Does he have to be peak of his powers to be better than KD?
Yes.
No.
Listen, KD's resume may be whack, but yes, everybody has to be peak of their powers to be better than KD.
I'm going Shaq and Kobe. We all agreed on Shaq
Okay.
and Kobe. I don't know why we're doing this.
Okay.
I'm
Next
man in
one.
the middle. I haven't chosen yet.
Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic versus Tim Duncan and Tony Parker.
Tony Parker washes Jamal Murray.
I tried
He
to tell you guys
washes
last
Jamal
week how
Murray.
good Tony Parker is. So you
The spin move, man.
put exactly. You put Tony Parker there, and then you put Tim Duncan. I think the two-way stuff from Duncan. This is hard. This is actually
Tony
hard.
Parker. Yeah, Tony Parker was one of the first players to literally abuse the floater and
is.
spam
It's
that on
like
a
the
consistent
best
basis.
offensive big man you've ever seen versus maybe the best defensive big man I've ever seen, and their sidekick guard. Like, which way do you go with that?
I think we have to look at the guards to like decide this, to be honest with you, because those two just cancel each other out in my mind.
I think
don't see the
2023
advantage.
playoffs, Jamal Murray is as good as any version of Tony Parker. But as a whole, Tony Parker has a better resume. He's proved it more times.
That two-man
Yeah.
game between Jokic and Murray is deadly, though.
Exactly. It's as a duo.
Like
and
that's what I'm
Spurs are
saying.
the
Like
better
if we're
team,
just
but as a
playing, if we're just
duo-
playing 2-on-2, if we're just playing 2-on-2, these guys are able to play off of each other better than Tim and Tony. But if we're building a team, would you rather have Jokic and Jamal over Tim and Tony?
Yeah, listen, if I
If
had
I'm
Greg
building a
Popovich,
team, I'd
Manu
rather have
Ginobili, and
Jamal
everybody
than
else,
Jokic
maybe I'm
for
going the
sure.
Spurs guys. But just two, I think we can go Nuggets.
Yeah, just because like
I don't
Tony
want to
wasn't the greatest
disrespect him,
defensive
but I
guard.
think I'm gonna go Jokic. I'm gonna go Jokic and Murray.
Victory screech!
yeah,
finally got a
let's
young pick. Let's go.
Murray. Let's do it. Damn.
Next one.
I don't like that.
Allen Iverson and Dikembe Mutombo versus Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey.
All right, we don't have to set Dikembe up like this. You know, like we can. He's a cool guy. He's in commercials. We like Dikembe. This is just not the conversation for him. Give me Joel and Tyrese.
Listen, you got the MVP and their sidekick. One sidekick's a DPOY. One sidekick's an all-star guard. I don't know if it's easy.
Stop. We're
We're going Joel Embiid and
going.
Tyrese
Thank you.
Maxey.
Thank you. Y'all are making it seem
It is
like it's
pretty
easier than it
easy.
is, but I agree. I think Joel Embiid is better than Iverson. Fucking shoot me, I get it. And Tyrese versus Dikembe is close, but I'm going Tyrese.
Yeah, we're gonna have
Wait,
to handle
is
that after the
Tyrese
show.
versus Dikembe really that close?
Dikembe is a DPOY. Like Dikembe is not a scrub.
I mean, he's not, but I mean, come on.
I think I'm leaning Tyrese still.
I'm
yeah.
going new. I'm going new.
Nobody respects defense these days. Unbelievable.
It's all-
Look where that defense got him. Smacked by the Lakers. Tragic.
Where has anything gotten the Sixers if we're doing that?
I know, I'm reaching.
All right, next up.
All right, it's 3-2.
3-2.
Young is making-
We got
Young
Chris
is making
Paul
a
and Blake
comeback.
Griffin. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin versus Kevin Durant and Devin Booker.
The underachieving
KD and Devin
duos.
Booker.
Let's talk about it.
Going band for band and disappointment.
Band for band.
They're going M for M and disappointment at that.
See, this is hard. I'm gonna give at this point. I'm gonna give CP and Blake the nod here because for the same reason that I picked the Nuggets. I think that they can play off of each other and their specific two-man game actions are very, very deadly. Whereas if we're going talent, obviously KD and Book win, but you kind of need another piece to fully unlock what Booker and KD do.
Yeah, one duo complements the other one better. And that's pretty clear.
Yeah, but that's literally only because Chris Paul is the most complete player here. Me personally, I would lean KD.
I'm sorry.
And Devin Booker.
Well,
That's
there
not
you
my
go.
fault.
Maybe
It's literally-
that's why they win. He wins for being
It's
complete.
not my fault.
But he's still not. Is that version of Chris Paul better than Devin Booker right now? It's a close conversation.
Yes.
It's not necessarily a wash.
I mean, call it what you want, but I'm pretty easily picking prime Chris Paul over Devin Booker, I think.
I'm doing the same thing.
It's a
Call it
close
a wash, don't
conversation,
call it a
for
wash.
sure.
I'm going Chris Paul every time, and that makes up for it for me. I'm going to the Clippers.
I think Blake Griffin is such a weak link that I might lean with the Phoenix Suns in this case.
Okay, that's
Listen,
fair.
either way,
Kevin
you're
Durant's
going
Kevin
out
Durant.
in the second round. It doesn't really matter. So it's fine.
Oh my
We're just
gosh.
picking which struggle we want. Who do you want to root for? Ass or ass? I don't know.
Exactly.
Next up, oh, it's ass or ass. Disappointment or disappointment. Next up,
Also,
Kobe and
Old-
Dwight.
Old won the series 4-2.
Oof. Well, listen, best of 9 right now. Kobe
Tragic.
and Dwight versus Giannis and Lillard.
Kobe and Dwight. That Kobe and Dwight shit was pissing me off. Pissed everyone off. Pissed Kobe
It pissed
off.
Kobe off. What do
That's
you
it.
mean?
Pissed Kobe the fuck off. Listen,
Yeah.
both these teams failed outright in the beginning. Only one of these duos hated each other, so I might have to go with Giannis and Dame. They still got time to love each other.
It's Giannis and Dame. Yeah.
It's Giannis and Dame in a heartbeat. Get that dude Dwight out of here, bro. That does not feel right at all.
You can
Dame's
see
probably
it
gonna
in
be
this
happier-
picture. You can see it in this picture. Kobe is about to yell at Dwight. He's
Year
about to
2,
get on him.
Dame's probably going to be happier in Milwaukee. He's going to be in better shape. They have a chance. Kobe and
Yeah.
Dwight never stood a chance.
Bro, they barely won. They barely were 500 in that year Dwight was there, bro. It's disgusting. I'm 100% leaning Giannis and Dame.
That's what Dwight gets for wearing the ugly ass Under Armour sleeve. Short sleeves
His
are
thought
shoulder
they were
was
cool.
hurt.
Yeah. No, I'm
sorry.
empathy.
not my problem. Dame was sad. Dame was out of shape. And we can make excuses.
All right. Oldest.
He wasn't
nah,
sad.
Nah, it's all good.
We're going
This is new for sure. New for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. New.
okay.
4-3.
So Old's up 4-3 right now.
Yeah.
Last one. Are we gonna get a tie game? Next one. Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah versus Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren.
Ooh, Derrick
Now I get
Rose
it. D
and
Rose was
Joakim
MVP.
Noah.
Shai was second in MVP. He wasn't too far off.
Joakim Noah was in MVP
was like fourth in
conversations too.
MVP. He's
Yeah.
also up there.
I don't want to
Now there's context behind those conversations because those
Yes,
are
I wanna
Mickey Mouse
really get
MVP candidates right there for sure.
And then then it's the defensive talent down low. Listen, Joakim Noah already at his prime, so we can say that. Chet's just getting started, but I don't know.
I think Derrick Rose. Hold on, man. I was gonna say he was a better player than Shai, but hold on, man. Shai's defense is
How much better? I don't know.
night and day. It's night and day. And Shai has a step back 3 to his game too. Yeah, Shai's better. Fuck, man, that's crazy.
It's impossible to separate nostalgia from Derrick Rose conversations. I don't even blame people for wanting to try.
Yeah, I know.
Donovan.
And I think Chet's versatile. Well, no, Joakim Noah was super OD versatile as a defender back then, so that
He was
canceled
getting mad
each other
triple
out for
doubles.
real.
He led the league.
Yeah.
At 4 in a year.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't know about that.
I think I'm leaning Shai and Chet. I hate that I'm saying that though.
For the modern NBA, they fit a lot better. Before their era, I don't know if we can hold that against the Bulls.
I'm going D Rose and Joakim.
Yeah, can we
Yeah.
hold the Bulls back for that? I don't know.
I don't know.
Derrick
I
Rose
think Chet's
wasn't a
also going to be a
shooter.
superstar, but he hasn't done it yet. So I guess we can go the Bulls just until Chet hits like year 3 and makes it not a conversation anymore.
Yeah, I'm going Joakim Noah.
I'll go
Okay,
Bulls too,
yeah.
but count your fucking days. Chet is coming to end this conversation.
Derrick Rose's legacy will live on forever.
And that's the end of that. We got one more segment to get to.
One more.
Listen, man. Jason Tatum discourse has been impossible to escape from.
I'm
We've
tired.
been doing it nonstop. We're going to keep doing it. What we're going to do now is I'm going to name an NBA player. You let me know if you would rather build around them or Jason Tatum.
Let's
First
roll.
player.
Do it.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I'm taking Shai in a heartbeat. I've been saying since like
In a heartbeat?
September. October. Yes, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. He's a better scorer. He's a better facilitator. I won't say he's a better defender, but he's a damn good defender for his position at 6'6", which is what he stands. I'm taking Shai for sure.
I'm also taking Shai. Also in a heartbeat. It's not. I don't think I have to think twice about it. I'm taking Shai.
Well, I'm going to take Shai as well, but I'll think a few times about it. I'll consider Jason Tatum. I'll consider the versatility he brings, but I'll still pick Shai. But I'm going to be polite about it. I'll say
Not close is
that.
crazy. Not close is crazy, but I'm taking Shai in a heartbeat for sure.
Okay. Next up, Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards is young.
Correct.
What that mean?
Jason Tatum's 19.
Also correct.
Youth on youth.
I'm taking Anthony
It's
Edwards.
tough. Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's very reasonable to bet on his ceiling.
Yeah, it's very, very close. But the things that he was able to do this year, I've seen the glimpses of him being able to put a team on his back. And if we can get just a little bit more help for him in terms of like offensive creation where he doesn't have to do everything by himself, I think we could really unlock something. Give me Anthony Edwards.
I think he's better at his age right now than Tatum was. And it's very easy to see the path to him to continue to get better as a passer, as a scorer, as a shooter, as a defender. Like, you can tell he's nowhere near done hitting a ceiling.
Yeah.
You say Ant is better at his age than Tatum was at that age. Ant right now is arguably better than him right now.
I don't know if
As
we'll go
a
that
shooter,
far, but I don't hate you
playmaker,
for saying it.
But it's close, man. It's close.
And also, his shoes are
I'm
way
leaning
cooler.
in.
Have you seen the Ant lows? They're fire.
Listen, man,
Have
this
you
is
seen Jason
summertime.
Tatum's
You
shoes?
know what this is
Have
about.
you seen
You
what
know we're
Jordan
about to
did
have
to
these
him?
conversations.
Exactly. Have you seen the USA Pack lows? They're tough. He's going to be in Team USA in style.
Yeah,
Tatum's going to be wearing some fuck-ass Jordan brand shoes. They're terrible. I hate Tatum shoes. I hate Jordan brand in general.
Yeah, no.
It's not
Jason
really about
Tatum
Tatum
shoes got
shoes. It's about Jordan
hydraulics
Brand
built
as
in
an
them
entity.
bitches, bro.
All right, next up. Paolo Banchero.
Oh, this is Tatum.
I'll take Tatum.
For sure, Tatum.
I'll take
Yeah.
Tatum.
Hey, finally Tatum's on the board. We got a W for him.
Yeah. Paulo's not there yet. But next year, could he be? I don't know.
No, it probably won't be. It probably won't be next year either. But I mean, Tatum. Listen, Tatum is an elite two-way wing, right? We saw him in the finals. We saw him all playoffs long, all season long, really take a leap forward with his passing, with his playmaking. That's a standard that Paolo was exposed in this playoffs, and he's gonna get better at it. But he's just not where Tatum is right now.
I will say one of Jason Tatum's flaws when he was younger was getting to the rim and using his size. That's Paolo's biggest problem right now, and I think he'll figure that out. And once he does, he's going to be unstoppable as a scorer, and his conversation might change.
Man, I just love when 6'9" wings remember that they're 6'9", 250 pounds, and can get to the rim at any time.
Everyone wants to be Melo when they can just be LeBron. Like, just do it. Just try.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but being mellow is so much cooler, though.
It's really
Three
not.
to the dome? Have you ever done that in your life?
I've never dunked on anybody either, but I bet that's fun too. I bet it's sick. You should try it.
You're not a master of the pump fake, and I can tell. I can see.
Strikes, man.
Devin Booker.
I'll take Tatum. I don't have to think twice. I know that I'm getting elite play on both sides of the ball. And listen, sometimes Twitter be convincing, and they've kind of convinced me that Devin Booker is a front runner. I think I like Jason Tatum. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
That's because you hate Devin Booker. That
I'm sorry. I've been convinced.
So ass.
They have very solid arguments.
They have stupid arguments. I hate that bullshit.
Listen.
I think it's a lot closer than you're making it seem right now, for sure.
It's
Definitely
not. It's not close. It's not close.
I'll go Tatum.
Not
too.
close is disgusting.
I'll go Tatum as well, but we're thinking lesser of Booker because this team is forcing him to play point guard. When just a couple years ago we realized he was the best shooting guard in the league pretty easily. His PR's in the toilet because Matt Ishbia wants to play fantasy basketball,
and that's fair, right? That's fair. We can grade him on a curve. I still don't care. I'm taking Jason Tatum.
At the end of the day, I always thought Tatum was better.
I like Tatum's defensive versatility, but I'm leaning with Devin Booker.
There we go.
Don't care.
Next one. Don't care either. Next one. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
All right, come on. Next one. We got Giannis. Next one. Next
Even
one.
with his age?
Next one. Who's the next player?
Oh, damn. All right. Last one. Next one.
Not even close.
Next one is Ja Morant.
Ooh, Ja. Oh, that's close. Is it close? Damn. Ja Morant has supreme talent, and he's surely unstoppable in so many aspects. But the defense is so bad.
In theory, it should be a conversation. But we have not seen Ja Morant play consistent basketball in about a year and a half for various different reasons. And I'm taking Jason Tatum because of that.
Wow.
Two-way guy as well. So
I feel like Ja Morant's becoming underappreciated, but it's also really quick that he gets overrated. So it's a tough thing to gauge against versus Jason Tatum, who's just like Jason Tatum. So I don't know.
I mean, listen, at their best, they're both like the 7th to like 12th best player in the league. Like, you know,
Jason Tatum's a lot safer pick.
Yeah.
We know Jason Tatum contributes to winning basketball in a way that fits around every other star, John Morant, we're still waiting for him to have his big moment.
Mhm.
I think it'll come, but Jason Tatum's earned this right.
He gotta make it happen.
I knew y'all were hating on Devin Booker, man. With how this conversation went, y'all hating. I knew it.
Oh my god. Well, that's the end of this segment, and that's the end of this episode. If people are still here, what should they comment, Donovan?
Comment L bars. We're still on that. I
we
still
run the
can't.
terrible bar.
I know. I can't get that out of my mind. I'm gonna be thinking about it all week.
Man thinks he's a rapper.
It's awful.
We'll see y'all next week. Tune into the streams. I told you guys early in the beginning of the show, they're not going to be on Monday. They're going to be on Wednesday for the draft and Sunday for free agency. Tap in.
And also tap into that Crown Eater merch.
Oh, Crown Eater merch. There you go.